South, Jamestown North, Wahpeton, and Dickinson. And then either Central or Devils Lake, whoever wins that game in Devils Lake tonight. And that's Drive for the Title right here on KOVC. And the pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. Part one of our coaches' conversation. Scott Rourke, the head coach of the Highlanders, catching up with us this week. We asked him about the lessons that were learned last week with mistakes. He even says that, the coaching staff had some struggles trying to figure out what that short passing game was like for Grand Forks Central. They did make some adjustments, but says even the coaching staff felt like a little bit of that was on them, and they're hoping that they erase some of those mistakes and get ready to bounce back this week.
Can't make mistakes. We made a few too many. Central, give them credit. They made more plays than we did, and just kind of one of those games, and hopefully we learn from it and bounce back in the right direction.
Coach, you had a number of penalties that you had to work with throughout the course of the game. I know that you had some illness before the game, during practice that you had to manage. I know that you're not an excuse guy, so I wouldn't ask you to make any excuses, but there was a tremendous amount of adversity for your team that maybe a lot of us don't even know about last week.
Well, you deal with the hand, you play the hand you're dealt with, and or dealt, and we tried to do that as best we could, and we got some kids back, missed a few days of practice, but I'm guessing that other teams have dealt with illness and some of those things that come along with that too. So we hopefully realize, that there's a game that we think we certainly could have or should have won, but we didn't. And it's not the end of the world, and we've got to get ourselves back up off the dirt and play another tough game this week too. So, and like I told the kids too, I said, think about it, guys. If I would have told you we'd be 7-1 after 8 games, I said, how many of you would take it? And I think a lot of them probably said, I think I would take that. And we just happen to end up losing this one right now. So, it's a little different sometimes when it happens. If you lose your first and win 7 in a row versus winning 7 in a row and losing one. But it's the same situation, and we've just got to be able to learn from it and get back on track.
Yeah, the one thing on the field that seemed to be a stumper for your team was that little over-the-middle pass that Central kept throwing to Jack Simmers, number 2. It was one of those things where I think you finally found some adjustments late in the game, but that was a stumper, wasn't it? What did you see from the sidelines that Central was doing with that passing game?
Well, they had 3 receivers, and what they do is they drag him across, run a dig route with this guy. They run these other 2 guys out, and we haven't, to be honest with you, we didn't rep it good enough, and we haven't. And I told the kids I'll take responsibility for it because we have kind of gotten a little lax in some of our pass coverage stuff. We use our linebackers a lot more, kind of working run game, and so we didn't rep it enough with them, and we made an adjustment in the second half, and we're just trying to widen our linebacker out where he's supposed to be. And if he does that, you saw in the second half, we did take that route away because they tried to run it another time, and Broden Muskie was there this time. So, it's a combination of a good scheme on them and us just kind of falling asleep on, one of our responsibilities with our pass coverage.
Part 2 of our coaches' conversation with Scott Rourke is on the way, and in the second part of our call this week, he's going to talk about Fargo South being very athletic and what it's like to be in the hunt when you don't really know what the hunt is, because we don't really know what it means to win or lose as far as where we end up in just the right spot for the playoffs this time around. It's new, it's different. Some of us don't like it, some of us do, but that's what he'll bring up in part 2 of our conversation, which is on the way in just a couple of moments. So stay with us. We'll be taking you out to Hannah Field in a bit for Highlander football tonight as the Highlanders get set to go up against the Fargo South Bruins. This is Highlander football on the voice of the Valley and the voice of the Highlanders, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the water, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank on the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything from snacks and drinks to gear, propane, and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
The book is here.
The Smith Lumber Home Center Fall Merchandise Book is here for your shopping convenience. All kinds of items to get you ready for fall and winter. Lawn and garden, tools, automotive, building materials, electrical and heating, plumbing, paint, and more. Pick one up today and register to win one of 2 $500 shopping giveaways. The newly expanded Smith Lumber Home Center on East Main, Valley City. And coming soon, an all-new greenhouse in time for the holidays.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
Rake in the savings at Lever's Foods. This week at boneless beef top round roast, $4.19 a pound. Campbell's condensed soup, 4 cans, $4.97. Honeycrisp apples in totes, $1.47 a pound.
Lever's Foods.
Delivery available. Call 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City. Great food, great savings.
This is Hannah Wieland, a freshman at Valley City State University. The V500 scholarship members' generosity and commitment is exactly the kind of community involvement we need to keep VCSU going strong. The many scholarships provided are a testament to the support of the alumni, family, and friends of VCSU. Please keep expanding the opportunities available to enhance the lives of the next generation and make a difference for attracting future Vikings by supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Now back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
From the KOVC Sports Studios tonight, it is the Highlanders and Fargo South. We get ready to take you out to Hannah Field this evening for the broadcast as myself and James Thornton will have the call for you tonight from Hannah Field. Regular season finale for Valley City. The Highlanders host Fargo South tonight. Highlanders 7-1 after their first loss of the season last week to Grand Forks Central. Fargo South is 5-3. Their only losses this year to 11 AA teams. They're undefeated in this division. As we continue with our pregame report, brought to you tonight by Sanford Health, here for good and here for all. We take a look at our Remax Now keys to the game, brought to you by Remax Now of Valley City and Jamestown. And you're going to hear about athleticism in part 2 of our conversation with Scott Rorick coming up. One of the big keys for the Highlanders tonight will be to limit the big play, particularly on the ground. This is a team from Fargo South that even though they have the chance to go vertical, they would like to run the football, and they have plenty of men that have done it. They've got a little misdirection to them, similar to what the Highlanders have, and they're going to play with a running back and a fullback, a couple of wide receivers, a little bit more traditional than the really spread-it-out team. At least that's what they show. And so it'll be up to the Highlanders to contain things, to keep it inside the boundaries. You don't want to get beat to the edge by this team. If you do, they're going to go a long way. So that's going to be a big key. The other big key in the absence of Gavin Gerhardt tonight will be to diversify. The Highlanders are probably going to have to throw the football a little bit more than maybe they've liked to. In the last couple of weeks, they've tried to open that up, and Bryson Heck has done a very nice job at times of throwing the ball. Bryson Heck's going to have a big night tonight. Really, that's the third key. If they open up the playbook, Bryson Heck is going to have a big night. Throwing the football, managing the game, running that misdirection. It's going to be up to Bryson as a sophomore to really sort of step up and take a lot of the pressure that normally would go elsewhere with Gavin Gerhardt in the rotation. It's up to Bryson Heck. So those 3 big keys tonight for Valley City, brought to you by Remax Now of Valley City and Jamestown. The keys to the game: keep Fargo South on the inside, perhaps become a little bit more diverse offensively and open it up. Bryson Heck has to have a big game. That takes us to part 2 of our coaches conversation with Scott Rorick, the head coach of the Highlanders. We asked him about Fargo South, and he did warn us. Very athletic football team coming from the Bruins tonight.
Well, they're very athletic. You know, they're probably going to be the most athletic team that we might play this year as far as skill position and speed. Someone told me they set the Class A state record in the 4x100 meter relay at state last year, which means they've got some speed out there that we're going to have to make sure we don't let get and beat us over the top. But you know, they like to run the football as well, so they seem to be pretty traditional. You know, they run on rundowns and pass on passing situations, and so we're going to have to out execute them. We're going to have to out hustle them. We're going to have to try to eliminate our mistakes. You know, and hopefully we can be on the side of possessing the football. That was one thing that I don't think we thought would happen to us up at Grand Forks. A lot of people maybe don't realize, but they took pretty much the whole second quarter with the football, and that usually doesn't happen to us. So hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get out off the field and, you know, get some 3 and outs, because we struggled with that against Central. Like you said, they ran that pass and got us a number of times on third down. So, you know, hopefully we can be better situationally and do the things that we've been doing most of the year.
And then finally, Coach, in past years, we would know at this point that you can either be the 3 or the 4 or the 2, and you're going to play either this, or this because it's East versus West and all those things. And right now, we have no idea where you end up if you lose the game. If you win the game, you end up number 1, we think. We're not even 100% sure about that. So is this kind of a new sort of quirky feeling where you don't really even know what you're playing for? You just kind of have a good idea? It's kind of like that, isn't it?
It is, because, it is like you said, when you do stuff and you're used to 4 from the East, 4 from the West, and this happens, we're going to be here, and nobody knows. It could end up that we might be the second in our league and yet still be the number 1 team in the state, which, because of the different ways that they're looking at standings and stuff like that. So it's really a different thing. And I guess, things will shake out the way they need to shake out. We've just got to worry about the things we can control, and that's getting ready for South and executing, and then let, the numbers say what they say.
That's our coach's conversation this week with the head coach of the Highlanders, Scott Rorick. When we come back, we'll be with you at Hannah Field for the starting lineups and the kickoff for tonight's matchup as we get ready for what should be a fun night of football. As our pregame report continues, brought to you by Sanford Health, here for all, here for good. It's the Highlanders and Fargo South tonight, and we go to Hannah Field next, right here on the Voice of the Highlanders and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Highliner Football on KOVC, the Voice of the Valley.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout, CPA, at 845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC.
Ready for some football? Make sure you include quality meats and snacks from Valley Meat Supply. Valley Meat has all your favorites for the grill. Thick, juicy steaks, burger patties, brats, and all beef wieners. Valley Meat has you covered during the hunting and harvest season with sandwich meats and a variety of cheeses, beef sticks, and jerky. If you're tailgating, hunting, or harvesting, make it Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
Now back to Highliner Football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
From Hannah Field tonight in Valley City on the north side of town, it's the Highlanders and Fargo South in the regular season finale. The winner will have inside track towards 2 home playoff games. The loser of this one, your fate is not known tonight. We'll be watching the scoreboard to find out what happens around the rest of the state. There are a few games tonight and a few that was yesterday. However, this is a big one tonight. Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you again tonight from Hannah Field. And James, this one takes on a whole different complexion without Gavin Gerhardt in the lineup tonight. We found out today Gavin Gerhardt will not play tonight. We don't know his status in the future, but the Highlanders are going to have to fight through some adversity tonight in their regular season finale.
Yeah, losing Gavin tonight, that's going to be a big blow tonight. But, as they say, next man up. Someone's just going to have to step up and fill in for Gavin. I mean, Gavin runs hard and gets a lot of yards. He gets a lot of carries. I mean, this could be a positive down the road if Gavin does come back with, getting the experience for somebody else to carry the ball, somebody else to come in the game and carry the ball more than they're normally used to. So if somebody shuts down Gavin in the future, they'll be ready.
Yeah, let's find out what happens tonight, but that's definitely going to be an adjustment that will have to be made here this evening. We're getting ready for our national anthem. We'll bring it to you here on KOVC, and we'll have our starting lineups in just a couple of moments. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. National Anthem performed tonight here at Hannah Field, and we're ready for our starting lineups tonight. Our starting lineups are presented tonight by CHI Mercy Health Valley City. Hello, Human Kindness. Tonight for Fargo South, the starting center is Tyler Christensen. The guards are Quinn Mears and Alex Cassette. And the tackles will be Brody Anderson and DeAndre Watson. The wide receivers are George Hansgard and Emmanuel Spahie. The tight end is Reese Kessel. The fullback is Colby Nissen. The tailback tonight is Demarian Semenko. And Brevin Work will start at the quarterback position tonight for Fargo South. Defensively for the Bruins this evening, along the line will be Christensen, Anderson, Watson, and Kessel. The linebackers are Nissen, Cassette, and Zach Thomason. The defensive backs are Will Locker, Semenko, and Spahie, and one defensive back yet to be named for Tyler Kozel, the head coach of the Fargo South Bruins. Tonight for Valley City, starting lineup tonight for the Highlanders. The center will be Christian Butler. The guards are Will Schreier and Broden Muskie. The tackles are Peyton Olson and Brady Gassetti. The tight end is Connor Sewer. The split end is Aiden Jacobson. The running backs will be Ethan Miller and Jonah Harstead. The fullback is Zach Sikora. Bryson Heck will be the quarterback tonight for the Highlanders. Defensively, 4 up front and 4 in the middle. The tackles tonight will be Gassetti and Butler. The ends are Sikora and Dylan Hunt. The linebackers are Harstead, Sewer, Muskie, and Caden Amon. The defensive backs will be Jacobson, Miller, and Will Eggert for Scott Rorick, the head coach of the Valley City Highlanders. And again, as we take a look at the QRF ratings coming into the night, the Highlanders are number 1, but their lead shrunk over the Grand Forks Red River Rough Riders, who just spanked Dickinson out in Dickinson last night by 46 points. And so Red River's licking their chops. Right now, they are a Fargo South fan. They would like to see Fargo South beat Valley City. That would likely elevate Red River to the number 1 overall seed. Highlanders win, and the Highlanders very likely take home the number 1 seed outright. And strangely, James, our biggest fans tonight are probably the Jamestown Blue Jays, for the simple fact that if the Highlanders win, Jamestown has a chance of moving up to that 3 spot in the QRF. That gives them a matchup later in the second round with Red River, a team that they beat already. And so it's hard to believe that tonight the Blue Jays are probably rooting for Valley City over in Jamestown.
You don't see that very often, that a Jamestown fan or coach or player or anybody's going to root for Valley City, but you're right. I think they would like another rematch with Red River in the second round possibly, and for them, for Jamestown, I mean, that'd be a huge jump up to number 3 the way they played the last few weeks. They come out strong after they, played us. I talked to Coach Nelson, and he said, they made a few changes, and they're clicking right now, so I think they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs.
Nonetheless, the scores are coming in tonight. Wahpeton has a big lead early over Turtle Mountain, but one of the things that might surprise you, Grand Forks Central, they're playing with some steam now. 28-6 early second quarter over Devil's Lake. Central's trying to grab maybe the 7 spot after Dickinson got shut out last night by Grand Forks Red River. So there's still some movement to happen. And before we kick this one off tonight, James, isn't it strange? We don't really know 3 East, 2 West. We don't know about that. Right now we're just sort of penciling it in, and it's kind of fun to watch this movement go on every single week.
It is. I mean, it's, it makes every game count coming down to the wire like this, to the last regular season game. I mean, every game matters on who, doesn't matter who's playing who, because you can jump from a 1 to a 3 or a 2 to a 4 or a 4 to a 2. So who knows? We'll see.
We'll see what happens tonight. The Highlanders are in their powder blue fronts with the navy blue trim, navy blue pants, navy blue helmets. They're going to move from our right to left, and they will be on the defensive side of things to get started tonight. Fargo South's in white tops with the gold and brown accents. They'll move from our left to right towards the south goal. They'll be getting the football to get things started tonight. So the Bruins have the first chance offensively. They'll put 3 back on kick returns, so they list. The deep man right now looks to be A.J. Moore. The kick is away, and Moore will have it at around the 8-yard line. He sets up near side return, got a little wedge, and then breaks outside the numbers. There's a flag down, however, as he gets out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Fargo South, but there is a flag down back at the 26. The return was actually by George Hansgard, who was not listed as one of their returners returners tonight, but they put Hansgaard back there. And the flag came out after the block that sort of broke things open. And looks like the Bruins are going to start deep in their own territory. A block in the back is going to be called by Brian Yanish, who's our white hat tonight, for this matchup between South and Valley City.
Yeah, and that penalty right there, it's one of those penalties that was behind the play, so it's kind of an unnecessary play. I mean, the kid just looking to hit somebody for fun in a football game, and it's one of those things you got to know when to continue to block and when to just let go and let your teammate do his job.
But one of the things we heard from Scott Rorick in the pregame tonight is that South's loaded with athletes. It's going to be very imperative for the Highlanders to keep things in the middle of the football field. They can't allow the edge to get exploited like they did on that kickoff return.
Yeah, that's one of the things. You got to make sure you stay at home and do your job and keep your contained, because if you let these guys get outside, I mean, they're very talented and they can move, so they'll bust some big plays if they get outside.
Bruins with the football. They're going to start at their own 16-yard line, first down and 10. Work will be the quarterback. He'll have men bracketing him to his right and left in the backfield. A single receiver going each way. He's going to call his own number, then gives it away in the zone read. This is Damarian Semenko. Semenko trying to stretch towards the left. Minimal gain. Maybe edges the ball up to around the 19. They're going to give him, it looks like, the 20 for a gain of about 3. Damarian Semenko, their leading rusher. Broden Muskie the stop, and it's 2nd and 7 for the Bruins.
Yeah, it was one of the nice jobs out there. You had your defensive end that kept it contained. He kept him inside. Muskie filled in and did a nice job with the tackle.
Pair of receivers to the right this time on 2nd down and 7 for the Bruins. Men again to the right and left of the quarterback. They give it the backfield to Nissen, and he is stuffed right at the point of attack. He'll go down for a loss on the play. First attempt for Nissen. He got gobbled up by Brady Gassetti and thrown down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 4 yards. The ball will move back to the 15. It's 3rd and 11 for the Bruins.
Yeah, Brady Gassetti right there. He busted through that line like there's nobody even touched him. And I don't know if the offensive lineman that was supposed to pull and kind of kick him out missed him, but he got through there and made a nice job, nice tackle for a loss.
So here comes 3rd down and 11. Nissen will stay in the backfield. The Bruins will look to spread things out with 4 receivers, twins each way. Work is out of the shotgun with Nissen to his right on 3rd down and 11 Bruins from the 15-yard line. A blitz being shown by Valley City comes near edge. It's picked up. A step up and a throw underneath, and the pass is incomplete. In trouble was Brevin Work. He was affected by the blitz, if not completely hit. Reese Kessel was the intended target. Good coverage out in the hook by the Highlander linebacking core. And Valley City stops him with a 3-and-out to get the football early in the first quarter.
Well, it was a nice play call, nice blitz on the outside. They brought Broden Muskie on the outside, which brought the running back over to try to pick him up. And the inside interior line for Valley City did a really nice job and made him make a decision quick, and he underthrew the pass.
So they'll kick, and the punters are Dawkin, one of 2 different Dawkins. It's a line drive punt that will head across the 50 and take a Bruin roll to about the 44-yard line where it's touched up downfield. So good stop early. Gavin Gerhardt's not just a running back. He's a really, really good linebacker as well. And you wondered how it would affect the Highlanders defensively. Right there, they looked like ship-shape to get this thing started.
Yeah, Mr. Gerhardt, he's an all-around player for the Highlanders, both offensively and defensively. Obviously, he has the most yards for the Highlanders offensively. He's probably one of the top leading tacklers defensively. So it is going to be a big loss, but like I said, hey, next man up earlier, and so far somebody stepped up on the defense, and they had a nice stop, almost blocked the punt, and got good field position to start the game.
Bryson Heck will be under center with a true wing T look on 1st and 10 for the Highlanders, their own 45. This is a toss. Miller looking to get outside the numbers near side. He's corralled, starts up field, and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that will be about it. Very well defended by Fargo South. Zach Thomason, the middle linebacker, comes up with a stop. Miller kept stretching that out, but really never had a chance to turn upfield, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for Valley City.
And Ethan Miller did a nice job there. He kind of just let his blockers try to do their job. I mean, he got back to the line of scrimmage for them, so that was okay, but they did a really nice job of just stringing him to the sideline and using the sideline as their defender as well.
Jacobson and Miller will be wide receivers to the right. This is a new formation for Valley City. We'll see Bryson Heck under center with a wing to his left and a man in the backfield. Quick screen pass. Jacobson looking for a block. Starts outside the numbers, tries to stiff arm a man, and ends up being run out of bounds for a short gain at around the Highlander 47. Just a 2-yard pickup on the throw for Aiden Jacobson. It was a pretty well-designed play. Colby Nissen got over, though, and was able to muscle his way through a block and make the stop.
Yeah, here's the thing on that play. The thing about it was actually thrown 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Jacobson kind of came backwards, and then he had to go upfield. I mean, actually, from where he caught the ball, he got 7 yards, but only got a 2-yard gain from line of scrimmage. So they just got to, he's got to just stop on the line of scrimmage and complete that there and get a 5 or 6 yard gain.
3rd and 8 for Valley City from the 47 of Fargo South. Pair of receivers to the right again. Toss near side. Miller again trying to stretch. Moving outside the near side. He got caught right around the 48 and is thrown down at the 48-yard line. Good pursuit to the near side for Fargo South, and Cole Kegba will come up with a stop. One of the reserve linebackers coming out near side for the Bruins. It's a gain of 1 for Ethan Miller. The Highlanders will punt on 4th and 7, and really both defenses ready for the initial series by their opposing offenses tonight.
Yeah, that Kegba right there, he did a really nice job again. I think he was on the first play as well. He, just stringing stuff outside and making, the Highlanders get out wide before they pick up any yards.
So the Highlanders will punt. Bryson Heck is the punter. Good snap to him. He'll get the kick away. Line drive to the near side of the field. It's caught and dropped. The ball's on the ground. It's going to go out of bounds in favor of Fargo South at around the 22-yard line. The man returning the punt was Jaden Middleton, who's a junior that's a reserve as a wide receiver, and the ball went right through the wickets on him, but he gets a familiar roll to come to the near boundary, and Fargo South will take over in their own territory with 9:01 to play in the opening quarter and no score on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard.
Yeah, unfortunately for Valley City, the ball did go out of bounds because there was two or three blue jerseys that were coming up behind it and just couldn't get to the ball in time before it went out of bounds. Jonah Harstead did a nice job as the fly guy there and, making that hit as he caught the ball. So it was a very nice job on coverage.
So the second possession for the Bruins tonight. Brevin Work will take a shotgun snap. Man to his right in the backfield. He takes it, looks to run zone read, gives away to Nissen, who tries to shed a tackler far side of the field, turns upfield, got across the 30, outside the numbers at around the 35, steps on the boundary near the 40. He'll be out of bounds apparently at the 37-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 14 yards on the play for Colby Nissen. Simple stretch play, but it's enough for a first down for Fargo South.
And that's where, Valley City's got to make sure they keep that contain on the outside and get everything turned back into their linebackers. Defensive ends got to stay at home, and they got sucked in on that, and he got outside and got a nice gain.
First down and 10 for Fargo South at the 38-yard line. Let me make correction, 38-yard line for the Bruins. Simple toss to the near side of the field. Nissen again trying to stretch. Hit brought down. Good open field tackle to the near side of the field. Look at Broden Muskie go down and attack the legs on Colby Nissen and bring him down for maybe a gain of 1. Great individual effort by Muskie in the flat, and it's second down and 9 for the Bruins.
Yeah, Broden Muskie, he's a very good linebacker. He reads the ball very well. Give Connor Sewer some credit there for stretching it out. He kept him, and made him go to the sideline, and Broden Muskie just did a nice job coming in and making that tackle and catching the legs before he could get any yards.
Emmanuel Spy is wide to the left side of the field. George Hansgaard wide near side for Fargo South on second down and 9 for the Bruins. Shotgun snap, his own number for the quarterback, Brevin Work, and he's going nowhere. He's hit maybe short of the line of scrimmage and forced backwards. A host of Highlanders up on the defensive line, and I think you give credit to Broden Muskie again for breaking in. The line of scrimmage is all they get, and it is third down and 9 for the Bruins.
Yeah, again, Broden Muskie did a good job reading that, saw the quarterback keep it, and he just filled his hole and made that tackle at the line of scrimmage, and just a nice read right there. That's hard to do sometimes when you don't know if he's going to give it or pull it from the running back.
Here's third down and 9 for Fargo South in a scoreless game. The Bruins will spread things out to the left with 3 receivers. They have 4 total, 3 on the left. Shotgun snap again to Work, dropping back, looking to throw underneath, passing complete. It was intended to the far side of the field for either George Hansgaard or the wide man on the far side, which I believe was Abu Tawali. In the long run, it ends up falling incomplete. So 4th and 9. And James, the Bruins have tried to throw twice, and they don't look like they're very comfortable doing it, do they?
No, right there. The offensive line for Fargo South did a nice job and gave Work some time. He had Hansgaard wide open in there on the curl, for a 5-yard gain for sure, and he just threw that. It wasn't even close to either one of them.
So here's 4th and 9, and the Bruins are set to punt the football again. Dokken will put a foot into it, nearly blocked again. Kick is away. Beautiful line drive, spiraling kick. It's caught by the Highlanders and returned by Aiden Jacobson, which is a surprise in and of itself. Jacobson outside the 40 and moves it to the 45-yard line. I'm surprised. I think Fargo South thought he called for fair catch. He never did and returns the punt for 18 yards.
Yeah, it looked like the fly guy from Fargo South. He kind of just ran by him.
Just quit?
Like as it was like a fair catch call, but then all of a sudden Aiden Jacobson took off. There's no flag, so obviously he didn't call for it. And nice pickup, on about a 15-yard return for Valley City out to the 45-yard line, and good field position again to start their second drive.
7:15 left to play in the opening quarter, and it's no score on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard from Hannah Field tonight. 1st and 10 for Valley City. They'll go to the wing T formation with the receiver to the right. In motion as Miller. Ball was dropped on the snap, picked out of the air by Bryson Heck, and Miller goes straight forward and did well to make that a 2-yard pickup after that one was broken up on the bad exchange on the snap. Stop made by Alex Cossett up front for Fargo South, and it's 2nd and 8 for the Highlanders.
Yeah, good job on Bryson Heck's part there. I mean, it was a little high snap. He kind of bobbled it a little bit, but he got it, and he got it to Miller in time. It was, got a 2-yard gain out of a broken play. So Ethan Miller's going to have to be the one, I think, to step up tonight. We're going to see, when Zach Sikora gets the ball, see how he does. 2nd
down. Here's Sikora getting the ball straight forward. Nice run off the right guard across midfield out near the 45. The Highlanders are just short of first down yardage, but a good wall up front to run with. Zach Thomason comes up with a stop for Fargo South. It looks like they're short by just the hair of their chinny chin. So 3rd and inches coming up here for Valley City.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. Zach Sikora, he's a hard runner. I mean, a good runner up the middle. But what's going to be interesting is when Jonah Harstead gets his first carry, because he's the one that's filling in for Gavin Gerhardt tonight.
Here's 3rd down and a short one for Valley City. They'll give to Sikora again. Stood up as he got to the 45, but he advanced the ball near the 44. That was just designed to pick up the first down, and it's going to do so. Colby Nissen with the stop. It's a Dairy Queen first down for Valley City on a gain of 2 for Zach Sikora, and move the sticks for the Highlanders.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Zach Sikora. I mean, he does not look to avoid anybody. So if anybody fills, they're going to hit. I mean, he doesn't dance around. I mean, he's a hard runner. He keeps low to the ground, tough to bring down, and he can pick up 2, he can pick up 1, but he could bust one for a big gain too.
1st and 10 Highlanders at the Fargo South 44-yard line. Lone receiver Aiden Jacobson to the right. Wing T look again. Miller in motion. A drop back. Heck wants to throw screen and threw this one to the far boundary, incomplete. I think he was looking for someone coming back to the football on that far side of the field, and that someone was Jonah Harstead. But we all thought that ball was going to go into the flat for Ethan Miller, and maybe the Highlanders thought it was going to go out towards Harstead a little further downfield.
Yeah, and I wish, the defensive line end for Fargo South got in there, got some pressure. He kind of disrupted what Bryson Heck was trying to do, but he did have Ethan Miller in the flat, and I would have liked to see Ethan Miller get that ball right there. I would like to run a swing pass out to him and get him the ball and open and see what he can do with it out there.
2nd down and 10 for Valley City. Aiden Jacobson wide to the right. Wing T look again as we get Heck under center. The turn, Miller counter, right side, line of scrimmage, and that's it. He was hit as he got to the edge and will go down. Zach Thomason was out there for Fargo South. Little help coming in from Alex Cossett out of the linebacker core. Maybe a yard pickup that time for Ethan Miller. 3rd down and 9. James, what I'm seeing right now is that the Bruins have decided with Gerhardt out of the game, Ethan Miller is the next logical candidate. They're really keying on number 7 right now.
Yeah, and that's where the Highlanders are going to have to make an adjustment right now. They're going to have to give somebody else the ball. They're going to have to trust Jonah Harstead, and they're going to have to just let him see what he can do. They haven't given the ball yet in the first 2 drives, and Ethan Miller's the second dude on the team, so they're going to have to make an adjustment.
3rd and 9, Sikora right side. He busts outside, now cuts back over the middle. He's got a first down carry across the 35 and rumbles his way out to the 31-yard line. Solid pickup. That'll be 13 yards for Zach Sikora, who found a little space to work with on the right side. Another Dairy Queen first down for the Highlanders. Best play from scrimmage tonight for Valley City.
Yeah, and Zach did a really nice job, Sikora. He's a good hard runner. He likes to go north and south, but there he bounced it to the outside because he saw the guys fill in the holes. And like I told you, I mean, Zach is fast. He's a heck of a fullback. He runs hard, and he's got some quick feet, too.
1st and 10 for Valley City at the 31 of Fargo South. The second possession of the game for the Highlanders were scoreless here at Hannah Field. They'll give away left side Sikora. He found a hole. Then he puts the hole down, actually head down, and blasts his way out to the 21-yard line, close to a 10-yard pickup. As he got to the end of that run, he decided to finish with some punishment. Emmanuel Spivey comes up with a hit for the Bruins. 10-yard pickup for the Highlanders. Another Dairy Queen first down for Valley City.
Yeah, you could just see Sikora there. He saw Spy coming at him, and he just lowered his head, and he trucked him. I mean, what a hard runner. I mean, like I've been saying it the whole game, he runs so hard. I just love watching him lower his body and looking for that contact just to run somebody over.
1st and 10, Valley City, now at the Bruin 21-yard line. Bryson Heck under center, wing T look, Sikora, left side, got through, cuts back up the middle. He gets tripped up as he vaults inside the 10. A low hit from Emmanuel Spy. He saves the touchdown as Sikora had a wide open path to the end zone. He'll go down to the 7-yard line, but it's another first down, a 14-yard pickup on the play, and it's a Dairy Queen 1st and goal for Valley City at the Bruin 7-yard line.
You know, Ryan, it's just been all Zach Sikora right now. This whole drive's been Sikora, and I guess, you know, like the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep giving it to Sikora up the middle until they stop it.
1st and goal, Valley City from the Bruin 7-yard line. Heck in motion, Miller right side looking for a block, sheds a tackle, gets hit from behind by Colby Nissen. Nowhere to go. Maybe the line of scrimmage, and that was about it. There was a hole there just briefly. I don't mind the changeup from Valley City, though. Sikora, come back with Miller. But again, Fargo South's not biting.
No, they're not. And, you know, they're just spying Ethan Miller right now because they know Gavin Gerhardt's not out there, so they can't mix it up a lot. Jonah Harstead hasn't ran the ball yet, and I think there's going to be a big play. Jonah Harstead's an athlete. He's fast, too. He's a great player, and once they give him the ball, I think you're going to be surprised.
Under 3 minutes to play opening quarter. It's 2nd and goal for Valley City from the Bruin 7-yard line. Under center, Bryson Heck, Miller in motion. Sikora looking, hit, drop behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe no gain, maybe a loss. That time, Alex Cossett got low, took down Sikora. He had some help coming in from the defensive secondary where Colby Nissen was around. So a 3rd and goal coming up for Valley City. It's gotten tight as the field's tightened up.
Well, and before this drive, I saw, you know, when we got the first down after Zach's big run, I saw that Fargo South subbed in 2 extra D linemen. I think they're like, hey, we're not letting Zach Sikora go up the middle to get the last 8 yards.
It was a gain of 1 officially, so here's 3rd down and goal for the Highlanders from the 6. Heck wants to throw, right side, pass nearly incomplete, actually nearly picked off, and now a late flag comes in, and we may have a pass interference call coming up against the Bruins from behind. The intended target, I believe, was Ethan Miller, and he may have been hit from behind on that play, so the flag comes in from the near boundary. The man in coverage was Jerry Gibson for Fargo South. The officials will talk it over, and we'll see what the call's going to be.
Yeah, it looked like he was there just a little early. I mean, I think they're discussing if the ball was catchable or not, and it looked like it could have been if it wouldn't have been hit from behind, but we'll see what the officials make the call at.
It's going to be pass interference against Fargo South, so the Highlanders are going to get a fresh set of downs, or correction, they will not. Again, in high school football, apparently pass interference is not an automatic first down. I forgot about that. My apologies. So it'll be half the distance to the goal, which means to the 3, and the Highlanders will get 3rd down over again. So now 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and you got Bryson Heck, who's a very good field goal kicker. I think you got to put points on the board. If you do not get the touchdown here on 3rd down, I think you got to attempt the field goal.
So here comes 3rd and goal for the Highlanders from the 3. Heck, the turn, right side, no place to go for Sikora. Zach Sikora looking right. He's actually brought down back of the 5 for a loss of a couple of yards. The Highlanders will change out some personnel. So they get down the field. They're not able to punch it in, and Valley City will try a 3-pointer to take the opening lead of the game.
Yeah, and they just took Zach Sikora away after, you know, he got down inside the 10-yard line. They weren't letting him do the work, and that's one of those plays right there, and I know I've been saying it a lot, but I would have loved to see him just give the ball to Jonah one time down there and just surprise Fargo South, come out with something different and maybe catch him off guard.
Bryson Heck on for a field goal attempt that will be 21 yards from the far hash. Good snap, hold down. Kick is on its way. Kick has plenty of leg. That kick is good. And the Highlanders are on the board first tonight with a clock down to 1:22 to play in the opening quarter. On the LaRue Lackow Financial scoreboard, it is the Highlanders 3 and the Bruins nothing. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation in Valley City. This is Highlander football on the Voice of the Valley and the voice of the Highlanders, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in their work, and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online at grotbergelectric.com.
Now back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Brian Cunningham, James Thornton with you tonight from Hannah Field in Valley City. The Highlanders get points on their second drive on a 21-yard field goal from Bryson Heck. They lead it 3-0. Low line drive kickoff for the Highlanders. Hansgaard picking up a bouncer at his own 10-yard line. Near side return, the 20. Hashmark's got a block at the 30 and down to the 35-yard line before he's tripped up on special teams by Zach Sikora, who carried the load for the Highlanders. He had 45 yards rushing, most of it during that scoring drive. And now the Bruins find themselves down 3-0 as they get the football for the third time tonight.
You know, on that last possession for Valley City and for Fargo South, was kind of the win-win for both teams. I mean, Fargo South came up with a big stop after they got inside the 10-yard line, overcame a pass interference, gave them an extra down to actually get in. But the Highlanders did walk away with points, so it's good to start off and get an early lead.
Dwayne Mitchell checks in as a wide receiver for the Bruins, 1 of 4, a pair each way on first down and 10 for the Bruins from their own 35. They're going to motion Spy across the formation, dropping back his work trouble. Gets away from the initial pressure, then will be sacked back at the 33-yard line. Looked like he wanted to run, didn't have a lot of space to work with after he decided to go head first down the field. Scott Rohde up on the defensive line will get to him, and it's a 1-yard loss on the quarterback sack. Another big defensive effort for the Highlanders up front.
That's a name you're going to be calling out for years to come here is Scott Rohde. He's only a sophomore, started last year as a freshman. Kid's a big dude. I mean, he's got some size to him. He's fast. He's aggressive. He's strong. Did a really nice job of getting in there and disrupting the play.
Second down and 11 for the Bruins after the sack of Brevin Work. They'll motion Spy across the formation again. Throw to him, screen pass. He makes a spin move. Now cuts up the far hash marks outside the 35. Tries to spin his way towards the numbers and is run down as he got to the 37-yard line. A lot of running on the catch for Emmanuel Spy. He'll end up picking up 3, and the clock to 15 seconds left of the quarter, and I'm not sure the Bruins are going to get another playoff here.
Nice job by Jonah Harstead staying with it, though, even though he didn't make the tackle, but he slowed him down and let Brode Muskie come in for the fill. And, you know, he tried to stiff-arm Brode Muskie, and I don't think anybody in the state's going to stiff-arm Brode Muskie. He just took that arm and wrestled him right down.
And that's going to take us to the end of the opening quarter here tonight. A field goal for Valley City to get things started this evening, and the Highlanders have the lead after 1. On the LaRue Lackow Financial scoreboard from Hannah Field in Valley City, it's the Highlanders 3, the Bruins nothing. A timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation in Valley City. This is Highlander football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the Voice of the Valley.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your #1 electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
Now back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Brian Cunningham, James Thornton with you tonight. It's the Bruins on third down and 8 as we start the second quarter with the Highlanders up 3-0 on the LaRue Lackow Financial scoreboard. Brevin Work out of the shotgun for South, rolling right side to get away from pressure, throws in the flat, caught, Spivey right at the line of scrimmage and driven back for no gain on the play. The Bruins have a vertical attack, but they have not been able to unleash it tonight. And James, you saw on that play, as I did, that was a designed rollout. The Bruins realize they're being beaten up front when they try to throw the football right now. They settle for 1 on a catch for Spivey.
You know, and that's the thing for the Highlanders. I mean, their defensive line is, you know, they're big and strong, but they're also very fast. So you got Zach Sikora and Scott Rohde and Brady Gazzetti that can move as well. So you're not going to run away from them often.
Kick away for the Bruins. They punt once again. Punt goes down the field. This will be picked up on a second hop by the Highlanders. On the return to the near side of the field, I believe, is Sikora. And Sikora's whipped down. Actually, Ethan Miller's whipped down. And we're going to have a late hit coming up against the Bruins. Cole Kegba got out, had contact with Miller. And this is a good late hit call, folks. Kegba was a good couple of steps beyond the boundary. didn't really hurt Miller or throw him down hard, but finished a play that didn't need to be finished, and there was no hesitation. The flag came out immediately.
Yeah, it's definitely a late hit. I mean, I guess you can't really call it a late hit because he hit him in bounds and took him out of bounds, but when he got out of bounds, he definitely threw him down, and you got to just let that play go, after you get him, drove him out of bounds. But what a nice job by Ethan Miller picking up that, that punt return and making a few guys miss, and then you get that 15 yards after that. So that's a big penalty right there.
They're going to call unnecessary roughness against the Bruins on the play. So from the 37-yard line, this will be returned into Bruin territory. And James, this is a big opportunity here for the Highlanders. A 2-score lead if they can poke one into the end zone. And even though they're down Gavin Gerhardt, to try to put the Bruins on their heels a little bit and sort of flip the script on them would be a big deal here.
Yeah, and missing Gavin right now, I mean, it's showing that they're missing him, but they did a good job in that last drive to get some positive yards, and good things will happen.
Harstead getting a pitch, trying to stay on his feet, does. He was hit in the backfield, but did well to cross midfield and get back to the line of scrimmage. He was in some trouble back behind the line of scrimmage as he was being pursued pretty well on that play. The pursuit was coming from Reese Kessel on the defensive line, but tripped up. Harstead got back to the line, no gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's right now you see the athleticism by these Fargo South Bruins. I mean, all their athletes, all their players, they're very athletic. They're stringing stuff out. I mean, I think we're going to have to look to throw the ball a little bit more, maybe throw some slants and curls.
2nd down and 10. Harstead in motion. They give it up the middle. This is Sikora right at the line, and again driven down. No place to go for Zach Sikora. And again, it's Reese Kessel that comes up with most of the stops. Zach Thomason, we've said his name a couple of times tonight for the Bruins as well. So here comes 3rd and 10. And yeah, James, it's starting to be like, okay, we've kind of run our bag of tricks here. What's next? I can kind of feel that right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to put the ball in the air. We're going to have to throw, they've done a nice job all year of getting Bryson some confidence out there, throwing some short curls, short passes, and I think they're going to have to look to do some stuff like that just to open up that run game without Gavin out there.
So here's 3rd down and 10. The true wing tee. Heck takes it, gives it away. Miller trying to go up the middle of the football field, breaking some tackles. He'll pick up about 7 yards to around the Bruin 41. This may be tough decision time for Scott Rorick. He needs 3 to get a 1st down. There were a couple of Bruins that were in the vicinity on the stop, led by Trayton Hoffert. So here comes 4th and 3, and the Highlanders are not showing punt, but keep in mind, Bryson Heck is the punter, the quarterback.
And I don't mind going for it right now. I mean, if you've watched Valley City, they've shut down Fargo South. Fargo South hasn't moved the ball at all offensively. Valley City's done a really good job containing them. So I don't mind them going for it right here. You're at the 41, go for it.
10 on the play clock. Heck will take the snap, gives it away in the backfield. This is Sikora, and he's not going to get away. He's able to cross the 40, got to the 39. It'll be a gain of a yard, but there was no place to go from there. Another stop for Colby Nissen, who comes up with a good play out of the defensive secondary. The Bruins will take over on downs at the 40 after a 1-yard gain for Zach Sikora, and it's 1st and 10 Fargo South.
Well, we're going to see now if the Highlander defense can come up with another stop here. I mean, the bad thing about going for it and not getting it is you do give Fargo South the ball in good field position. You could have pooched that down there and maybe stuck him inside the 10 and made him drive the distance. Now you give him decent field position.
I was like you, though. I like the call of going for it. At some point, you got to roll the dice on something like that. On 1st down, the football goes to Demarian Semenko. He's going absolutely nowhere. He got tagged in the backfield. Broden Muskie is playing like a beast tonight, and he'll get Semenko for a loss of a half a yard. Semenko's their leading rusher, 539 yards on the season. He lost one on that play, and it's 2nd down 11.
Well, I mean, that's back to that 4th down. I mean, the Valley City defense is just completely shut down Fargo South right now, so you have that advantage that you can go for it. And you've known all year, I mean, Valley City's defense has been tough to move the ball against. I mean, they've got to have the top defense in our level right now, I mean, in the state. 2nd
down and 11 for the Bruins from their own 39. Brevin Werg out of the shotgun, men to his right and left of the backfield, and a single receiver each way. Highlanders show blitz, it comes late. Werg steps into a throw right side of the field, and it's incomplete. Intended far side of the field for George Hansgaard. It was thrown out towards the boundary. Wasn't a bad throw for Brevin Werg, but again, the receivers for the Bruins just don't seem to be on the same page as their quarterback right now. That spun Hansgaard around.
Yeah, it did. And Ethan Miller did a really nice job of using the sideline to his advantage there and basically running the defender out into that boundary. And once he got mixed around, the ball was thrown behind him, and on the other side of him, he had to get turned around. There was just no chance for that catch. And the defensive line for Valley City, and they're just putting pressure on on Fargo South's quarterback right now and just making him make quick decisions.
This is a big play in the football game. 3rd down and 11 for the Bruins. They took over after stopping the Highlanders on downs out around the middle of the field. Can the Highlanders get their defense off the field? Work out of the gun, whistles and flags. The play clock had run out. And the Bruins may give 5 back for free here. And that's the call. Delay of game against Fargo South. Their play clock ran out. The ball's going back to the 34. And 3rd and 11 just became 3rd down and 16 for Fargo South.
Yeah, and now Fargo South's going to try to do something. I like the pressure Valley City's putting on even that play there. You can see they're bringing the house again. They're blitzing. They're making the kid make quick decisions. And, right now he hasn't been effective making those quick decisions. So I can see Valley City bringing the house here again. Maybe they'll back up a little bit with it being 3rd and 16 instead of 3rd and 11.
Here's 4 receivers for Fargo South, 3rd and 16 from the Bruin 34 in a 3-0 football game for Valley City. 4 receivers, 3 left. Work taking the snap again under pressure against a 3-man rush, and he goes down for a quarterback sack back at around the 33. It was just a 3-man rush for Valley City. They still got to him. Zach Sikora finishes it off. The lead pressure came from Brady Gassetti. It's 4th and 17 for the Bruins.
Scott Rohde's going to get credit for that sack, but Brady Gassetti really should because he flushed him up into him. I mean, what a job by Brady Gassetti. He is just getting through that line like there's nobody in front of him. I mean, somebody's going to have to pick him up if they want to throw the ball because he's getting through pretty easy.
4th and 17. There's a flag down. The Highlanders will be offside here. The Bruins kick it away. Valley City picks it up and takes off on the return. And on the far side of the field, a man run out of bounds at around the 43 that I believe is Aiden Jacobson on the punt return. There is a flag down, and that is at the 32. And it looked like one of the Highlander helmets had come beyond the football and into the neutral zone. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is against Valley City. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Bruins decline it. It's only 5 yards. They're still looking at 4th and 12. And, I mean, I don't know. Can you change field position more than they did? That would be the situation involved here.
With Valley City getting that return back out to the 42-yard line, I would have to think that you're going to accept that penalty and re-kick it if it is against Valley City. And but it looks like it's not going to be. It's illegal formation. So
okay.
So now you get 5 onto the end. So now you're going to bring it out to the 40.
Yeah, so I guessed incorrectly, folks. So here's what happened. Fargo South was called for illegal formation. I thought they were going to get the Highlanders for encroachment. So the Highlanders will actually take the ball to the 47 after it was returned to the 42. So pretty good field position for Valley City, the 42-yard line. They lead 3-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, and it will be at the 47 for a Dairy Queen first down with 7:36 to play until halftime.
With only 7.5 minutes left to go in the half here, I'd like to see Valley City do something a little different. Come out, maybe throw the ball this drive, this possession. You got good field position, so I would like to see that.
Here's a give on the near side for Zach Sikora. He'll get across midfield, banging his way out near the 49 for a gain of about 3. Stretch play to the near side. Colby Nissen, Zach Thomason out there again for the stop. That's not a terrible play for Zach Sikora. He picks up 3 and some change. 2nd down and a long 6 coming up for Valley City.
No, and he got hit right at the line of scrimmage and did a nice job of continuing to drive his feet, staying low to the ground. I mean, you know how tough these kids are to bring down for Valley City. I mean, they're all big, fast kids, and they're hard to bring down.
2nd down and a long 6 for the Highlanders from the Bruin 49. A pair of receivers to the right. Heck wants to throw. Throwing near side of the field. Pass is caught by Jonah Harstead. And then Harstead takes a hit along the near sideline from Thomason as he goes out of bounds, maybe at the 48 for about a yard pickup. Thomason came over. The initial contact from Cole Kegba for the Bruins. They're going to spot the ball actually at the 47, which is a little generous. That'll be a 2-yard pickup, but it's 3rd and 4.
You know what? It was a really nice catch by Jonah Harstead because Kegby had him covered. He was right on him. It could have actually been intercepted very easily if Kegby would have been looking at the football, but he didn't turn around and look at it, and Jonah did a nice job of grabbing that ball and getting a couple yards.
Highlanders trying to come to life here. Highlander crowd is as well on 3rd down and 4 from the 47 of Fargo South. Wing T look, Heck under center, takes the snap, long stretch play to Ethan Miller. Miller trying to get outside the boundary right side. He did. He'll drive towards the first down, may have it as he spun near the boundary right at the 43-yard line. If he got it, he just got it, and a spot has him short over on the far side of the field. I don't know if we see a flag or not. There might have been a holding penalty out on the far edge. edge. There is a flag down, and it looked like one of the Bruins got turned around on the far edge as the play stretched that way. Let's see what the call is going to be. It's holding against Valley City, so this play is going to be wiped out. That's one of those where you could see somebody kind of get hooked and turn around on the far side of the field, and that's going to cost the Highlanders 10.
Well, right now, somebody for Valley City is going to have to step up right now. I mean, they got to find number 25, Kegby. I mean, he is just killing the Highlander offense right now. I mean, he's there. He's on every play. He's stretched every run out to the outside, and he's been on coverage. I mean, that guy is, he's their linebacker. He's a good athlete. He's fast. He's strong. Somebody's got to put a body on him, and they got to stop him.
So 3rd down and 14 for Valley City from their own 43-yard line. The Highlanders lead it 3-0 with 6:42 to play in the second quarter on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Bryson Heck under center, got a couple of men to lurch. Flags come out.
Yeah, you might have either a little jump on Valley City. They went on an off count 2 instead of 1, and you just jumped a little early.
So the Highlanders will give up 5 more. And it will be 3rd down, 3rd down and 19 coming up now for the Highlanders. And 3rd down becomes a little bit less manageable here for Valley City. You're looking at a punt square in the face. And I wouldn't be surprised the Highlanders just run the football now and set up their best opportunity to kick it and try to get the defense back on the field.
Yeah, with 6 minutes and 42 seconds to go before half, you got a 3-0 lead. This is one of those plays you just don't want to do something where you turn the ball over and give Fargo South the momentum. Just get a few yards, punt it away, and then hold them again defensively.
3rd down, 19. Bryson Heck under pressure, throws right side. The pass is incomplete. It ends up going through the wickets on Aiden Jacobson. He had a couple of blockers out there. He was likely not to get the yards necessary for 1st down. Would have had a positive gain, however. In the long run, it's incomplete. And the Highlanders left to kick the football to Fargo South with the clock at 6:36 to play until halftime.
You had a wave of blue in front of Aiden Jacobson. It would have been interesting to see if he would have caught that ball, to see how many yards he would have got. Again, like you said, I don't think he'd have got enough for the first. But if he'd have made one man miss and got the block he needed, you never know what would have happened there.
So the Highlanders will kick it. Bryson Heck again, the punter, waiting for a low snap. He's got it, puts a leg into one, not a lot of distance high. It's going to clear midfield and then take a pro Fargo South hop at the 45, be touched up at the 47-yard line. So the Bruins do not get a chance to return it. But again, Fargo South will have good field position from the 47 as they trail the Highlanders 3-0 with 6:26 to play here in the second quarter of football.
Yeah, that was one of those things. Fargo South put 2 guys out there that, they came hard off the ends, and it looked like, I think Bryson Heck just rushed the punt. It was one of those things he tried to kick it up in the air a little bit higher so it wouldn't get blocked. You just got to drive that punt like you normally do and don't worry about, if it gets blocked, it gets blocked.
Brevin Work out of the gun with men to his right and left, 3 receivers, twins to his left on 1st and 10. Little shovel pass to the near side. Semenko trying to stretch the field. Midfield found a block. Now he's down the boundary. Breaks a tackle as he got to the 35. Spins inside the Highlander 30. And the Bruins get their best play of the night as they will take it down to the 29-yard line. That's going to be a completion to the 30. Actually, not a completion, but rather a run of 23 yards. And it's a 1st down for Fargo South.
Yeah, the contained guy, Connor Sewers, out there. He got tripped up getting to the outside, so he fell down, opened up the outside, and got a nice play for Fargo South right there.
1st down and 10 for the Bruins, now at the Highlander 30-yard line. 3 receivers again, twins to the right. Waiting for the snap is Brevin Work. Toss to the near side this time. This time, no place for Semenko to go. He'll lose 3 back to the 36, maybe the 37, and he was pressured immediately by Dylan Hunt off the far defensive end spot. The Highlanders don't get beat by that play a second time. That's a 6-yard loss for the Bruins back to the 36, and it will be 2nd and 16.
A great job by Dylan Hunt getting upfield, keeping him inside. Connor Sue came up, helped him out to finish it off, but I don't think he needed the help as he was going down already. You almost got to be careful there. You don't get a penalty for a hit after you should. 2nd
down and 16 for Fargo South. Pair of receivers again to the right, 3 total, 1 to the left, and Brevin Work out of the shotgun, calling his own number on a design quarterback draw. Looks to make a little cutback over the middle of the field and does, and slithers his way up to around the 30, maybe getting back to the original line of scrimmage for Brevin Work. So here comes 3rd and 10. This is very likely 4-down territory for Fargo South. So a couple of big plays coming up here for the Highlanders.
Yeah, they're definitely in 4-down territory. I'm not sure what their kicking game is like. Obviously, they're out of range yet a little bit right now, I would say, but definitely 4-down territory. So Valley City's going to have to make 2 stops right here and get the ball back before the half.
3rd and 11, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Highlanders lead it 3-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Regular season finale here tonight against Fargo South at Hannah Field. Shotgun snap to work. He wants to throw. Throws in the flat. Pass caught. First down and more. Believe this is Nissen that ends up being run out of bounds. He steps on the boundary inside the 20, down at the 18-yard line. That'll be a completion of 14 yards for the Bruins. They finally find a way to throw the football, and the Highlanders will give up yardage to their own 19. 1st and 10 on the catch for Nissen.
Well, it was a great play called by Coach Kozel over there for Fargo South. I mean, he ran everybody deep and ran that swing pass, and somebody missed their assignment and forgot to cover one of the running backs coming out of the backfield.
1st and 10 for the Bruins at the Highlander 19. Fargo South looking for their first points tonight. They give it up in the backfield. Semenko outrunning a man, stretching near side, breaking a tackle inside the 10, and he drives his way down to the Highlander 6-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for Semenko, and it's 1st and goal for Fargo South at the Highlander 6.
You know, right now, it just looks like Valley City's just tired right now on defense. They're a step late right now, and they're just letting Fargo South move them. They're opening up the outside, getting outside like we talked about. They're athletic, and if they get outside, they're going to get big plays.
1st and goal for Fargo South from the Highlanders 6-yard line. Highlanders leading 3-0, but the Bruins have it in jeopardy. Brevin Work, shotgun snap. Semenko right side, hit backfield, stood up and driven back at around the 9 or 10. Again, they try the ball to Damarian Semenko, and this time Dylan Hunt gets back in the backfield and takes him down back at the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 4, 2nd and goal for the Bruins.
And right now, Valley City's just got to stay at home. They got to get back to their base defense and just stay at home. Don't let that play get outside. They haven't got no yards up the middle. We got to just make sure we stay outside contained and keep their running back and everybody inside and let our linebackers fill and make the tackle. 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line for Fargo South. Bruins trail 3-0, clock to 3.5 to play in the first half. Work out of the shotgun, has it, looking to run throw, right side, throws, pass is caught, a drive to the goal line and into the end zone for a touchdown for the Bruins will be Zach Thomason. A reserve tight end, Zach Thomason, comes on the field and catches the football for a 10-yard score, and the Fargo South Bruins will take their first lead of the night by a score of 6-3. Yeah, we just, we're getting good pressure on the quarterback work there, and, he just sneaking people out of the backfield tight end spot. He did a good job of fake blocking and then sneaking out. We're covering the receivers really nice, but somebody's going to have to step up and cover those short passes.
The kicker for Fargo South will be Keaton Dawkins. They list 2 Dawkins as possible kickers. This is Keaton, right-footed kicker, high snap. Kick is on its way. Plenty of leg, and that's good. And Fargo South will take a 7-3 lead on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard with a clock to 3:22 remaining until halftime. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation in Valley City. Again, 7-3 Bruins now. This is Highlander football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the Voice of the Valley.
Why choose professional eye care centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula. 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their great selection. Have they got frames? Over 1,000 pair for you to try. So many on hand you'll want a pair for every outfit. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today in Valley City, Jamestown, or Carrington. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
Now back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you tonight from Hannah Field in Valley City. The Bruins get on the board on a 10-yard throw to Zach Thomason, a reserve tight end. South found something out in the flats that they could do to throw the football against the Highlanders on that defensive series. And meanwhile, Valley City searching for some offensive answers of their own as they trail now by 4 with 3 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Dokken kicks the football away for the Bruins. Near side kick to Aiden Jacobson, who has it at the 12-yard line. He sets up a middle return, looking to get lost in the bunch. Sheds a tackle as he got to the 25 and drives his way out to the 29. The clock will stop with 3:14 to play until the opening half. James, even if the Highlanders don't score here, this is a big possession to establish something. They've got to find a little momentum offensively.
Well, that's good. It's going to be key this last 3 minutes, 15 seconds or 14 seconds, because we got to find a way to move the football. We haven't moved the football very well other than that one drive where Zach Sikora basically went up the field. So we're going to have to try something different. We're going to have to, maybe open it up a little bit and throw on first down a little bit, try to just, mix it up a little bit, find somebody to do something offensively, because right now we can't move the football.
By the way, Nancy Powell was our contestant tonight in the opening drive sweepstakes. The Highlanders did not score a touchdown. Sorry, Nancy. We'll give it a try next time. Highlanders scoring a touchdown their opening drive. Somebody wins with Levers Foods. The Highlanders will give to Sikora on first down, trying right side off tackle. And Sikora for a couple of yards before he's spun down by Colby Nissen. He'll move it out to the 31 for perhaps a gain of 2. And it's 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Highlanders. 51 yards on the night now for Zach Sikora in the opening half.
Yeah, Zach's done a nice job running, but, they're plugging that middle. Now that he had that drive where they moved the football, they're kind of shutting down him as they shut down Ethan Miller right away. Now they're shutting down Zach Sikora. I think we're going to have to throw the ball on 1st and 2nd down.
2nd down and 8 for Valley City from the 31, their own. They trail 7-3 now on the scoreboard. Toss to the near side. Miller looking for a block, was able to find one, turns it upfield to 35, and gets knocked down around the 38-yard line out to the near edge. Trayton Hoffert coming up with a stop. Highlander crowd is upset about something. They thought Ethan Miller was tagged late on that play. Miller's slow to get up as he takes the ball to the 41. That's going to be enough for a Dairy Queen first down. They're actually going to spot it at the 39, but that's enough for a Dairy Queen first down for Valley City. It'll be 1st and 10 Highlanders at the 39-yard line.
I think what the crowd was upset there is Semenko and Aiden Jacobson were kind of wrestling around, and Semenko kind of, once he blocked, Aiden Jacobson got him down. He kind of lifted him back up and smashed him back down on the ground. I actually can't believe the ref didn't throw a flag, because it was pretty obvious, and he was right there.
From the 39, that's a good play for Ethan Miller, his best so far tonight. 1st and 10, a trap on the left side for Sikora. Not a lot of room to work with. He'll plunge out to around the 41 for a gain of a couple of yards on that far side of the field. Another stop for the Fargo South Bruins from Alex Cossett. Those linebackers, Nissen, Thomason, and Cossett, they've been pretty good tonight for the Bruins.
Yeah, and Valley City's going to call a timeout here just to, use some of that clock and manage the clock, which I like to see. You've got to do something here.
Yeah, the timeout will be taken by Valley City with the clock down to 1:44 to play on Parents' Night here in the opening half. At Hannah Field, the Highlanders trailing by a score of 7-3 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. A timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Highlander football on KOVC.
This is Highliner Football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
The keys to the game are brought to you by RE/MAX Now of Valley City and Jamestown. Just as the keys to today's game offer growth, success, and opportunity for the future, so do the keys to your new property. Whether you're looking for the keys to your starter home, the keys to home where you raise your family, the keys to your business, or the keys to your lake home or retirement property, for every step of the way, RE/MAX Now of Valley City and Jamestown are here for you. Check out our website, findrealtynow.com, for pictures and virtual tours.
Back at Hannah Field after the Highlander timeout. 2nd down and 7 for Valley City. I formation now. They give this one away on the near side of the field for Ethan Miller. Miller out to the 48, short of the first down perhaps. We may have seen another timeout taken by Valley City, or they're asking for the chains to move. They're actually going to say that Miller got the first down. So a little wrinkle, 8 yards for Miller, and they went out of the I formation. So it's not a straight change up, but it's a little bit of a circle change anyway.
Yeah, and it was kind of nice because actually Ethan Miller got behind Zach Sikora as a fullback, in a true fullback position, and he blocked Kigby and opened up a hole for Ethan Miller.
1 timeout, 2 timeouts remaining for Valley City. Clock ticking. They give it away to the near side. Sikora head down, stood up as he got to the 49 of the Bruins and driven back. 2-yard pickup. The Highlanders, I believe, they will take a timeout. Head coach Scott Rorick will step out on the field and call for timeout as Sikora moves his total to 55 on the night. And it'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Highlanders. They get a timeout taken by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. Well, you've been checking in on the Grand Forks Central score tonight up at Devil's Lake, and boy, the Knights found something they could work with against the Highlanders because they're rolling up in Devil's Lake tonight.
Yeah, it's 42-21. Lamont, the quarterback for Grand Forks Central, has 5 touchdown passes. I tell you what, whoever that, if Grand Forks Central jumps to that 7 seed, they're going to be scary. And, I mean, they're a team that I don't think I'd want to play right now. They played well last week. They had a 10.5-minute drive against us last week, 5 touchdown passes. They found something, and they're using it. And whoever that 2 seed is, they're going to be a scary team to play. And fortunately for Valley City, I don't think we can end in the 2 spot no matter what happens tonight.
No, I don't think so. What's really interesting, though, James, is that if the Highlanders win, you're probably looking at Central Red River in the opening round on a field they share.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be something to be at next Friday night?
Yeah, that'd be a good game, too.
2nd down and 8 for Valley City following their second timeout. Pair of receivers left. Under center, Bryson Heck. Straight drop, wants to throw, looks left side, hit as he threw the football, and the pass is incomplete. It sort of flails in the air. It ends up landing. Reese Kessel came in on the pressure. So here comes 3rd and 8 for Valley City. They don't have to burn a timeout. Clock will stop with 1 minute and a second to go in this second quarter, but the Highlanders face 3rd down and 8.
Right now, I think you just got to get out of here safe. Right there, that play right there got, Bryson got some pressure. I think he got hit as he was throwing, kind of floated in the air. He's lucky that didn't get intercepted because it was up in the air for a long time. And I think 3rd and 8 right now, you got to try to run the ball, use the clock, and just get out of here down 7-3, go into the locker room, make some adjustments, and come out in the second half. And hopefully
the Highlanders are going to burn a timeout here, though. They couldn't get the play in that they wanted, so the play clock was running out. And in the end, Valley City's going to have to use a timeout, another timeout for mobility plus rehabilitation. We can pass this score update along in the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. Wahpeton leading Turtle Mountain 55-14 at halftime. And so they'll be in a quick-moving second half in that matchup tonight as the continuous clock rule will come into play. Turtle Mountain did win Watford City won their matchup with West Fargo Horace last night, which is kind of a lift for Watford City. Elsewhere around the league, though, this is going to be a really good league going forward. And, James, you take a look at Fargo South's schedule this year. So they're undefeated against 11A teams, but they went out of their way to play 3 at a AA, Shanley, Davies, and St. Mary's. And, the soft-talking word is that South isn't long for the division. They want out of here. They want to play up with the big boys.
Well, I don't blame them. I mean, Fargo South's been the dominant team in the history of North Dakota football back in the day. And, I think they want to get back up there. They want to get to the Fargo Shanley level. Fargo Shanley opts to play up. They could be playing in this level. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I couldn't. No, I don't want to anyway.
No, me neither.
And now a whistle, and Fargo South is going to call for a timeout. Worth mentioning, Tyler Kozel, I believe, is a Valley City State connection, is he not? Their head coach?
Yep, he played football here at Valley City State, went to school here. His brother actually coaches down here at the college. So Tyler's a Viking at heart, and he does like Valley City. He roots for the Highlanders when they're not playing them. I know he does.
Fargo North was beaten last night by Jamestown coming into the night. Number 1 QRF belongs to Valley City. Obviously, a lot hinges on this. Grand Forks Red River was number 2. South was number 3 in the QRF. Jamestown was 4. North was 5. That game was last night. So if nothing changed, the last game of the regular season would be Jamestown and North. And the first game of the playoffs would be Jamestown and North. They do it all over again.
The only interesting thing is I don't know how far Wahpeton in the 6th spot was behind Fargo North, but maybe do you think Wahpeton with that win could jump them?
It's possible because the lagging that North has done, they've really had a terrible second half of their season. Here's 3rd down and 8 for Valley City after the pair of timeouts. Bryson Heck pressured, throwing near side, and the pass cannot be caught. It was in and out of the hands of Jonah Harstead, who had it along the near sideline but couldn't quite reel it in. That'll stop the clock with 56 seconds left, and so Valley City is going to have to give the football back to Fargo South and hold on for one more series for the Bruins, as South will come out. I believe they've got 2 timeouts left to use. And they're going to get the football back as they send Jaden Middleton back to receive the kick.
Well, and that's one of those things. I think I like to see a run play there instead, and make them burn that timeout if they want to, and instead of leaving them with 2.
Bryson Heck to kick the football high in the air, spiraling near side. And we saw Bryson Heck get knocked down on the end of this as the punt rolls down to the 9. There is a flag down where Heck kicked it. If it's running into, I say decline it. Keep it at the 9-yard line. If it's roughing, it's going to be first down Valley City. Let's see what this one's going to be. This is running into the kicker against Fargo South.
Now, you can decline that.
I think
he said
we
remains
could.
4th down, but you can decline that because there's no reason for Valley City to accept that penalty because the ball rolled out inside the 5-yard line.
And I think that's what Scott Rorick is talking. Right now, Scott Rorick is talking with the officials. And I believe he's asking, can we just take the football where the kick ended up? And he's asking Brian Yanish, who is our referee, and he's also talking with one of the judges out on the field. And I think Coach Rorick is a little frustrated right now that he's not allowed to take the result of the play.
No, I think he is, and I think he's right. They're going to take the result of the play as they're moving the football back down inside the 10 now. And he is right. You can decline that. You have the option.
Okay, so that's what we thought would happen. So the Highlanders will decline the running into the kicker penalty because, after all, you like putting Fargo South back at the 9-yard line with a clock down to 44 seconds to go. You'll take that. So that's what we'll have. We'll have the Bruins football at the 9-yard line, 1st down for Fargo South.
Yeah, and with the result of that punt, I mean, obviously you're way down there inside the 10-yard line at the 9-yard line. You might take one shot, maybe run a sweep outside and see if you can get some big yards and then take one shot. But I think Tyler's going to be pretty conservative here.
4 receivers. Brevin Work is out of the shotgun. He's got 3 to his right. He'll start one man in motion across the formation. That's Emmanuel Spivey. Work takes the snap, in some trouble, back around the goal line, steps up, trips, and goes down right around the line of scrimmage. Again, no one to throw to. There was some pretty good protection, but there was nobody to really throw the football to. Clock down to 30 seconds, and the Bruins do not have to run another play if they don't want to. And James, I don't know if I would if I was Fargo South at this point, but it looks like they're going to try to get something more going here.
Yeah, not in the situation that it is. I mean, 91 yards to go unless you throw, get a big play. But they're holding them up right now, I believe, and they're just going to let the clock run out.
Clock down to 9 seconds. The Bruins are in no hurry to come to the line of scrimmage. And so that's the way this first half is going to come to a conclusion. A really nice half of football for the Highlander defense. They give up the 1 score, but offensively, this is a Highlander unit that's looking for some answers right now as they had a really tough time generating anything. And at the end of the opening half, your score is on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard is Fargo South 7 and Valley City 3. And James, a lot of adjustments coming up here, and I'm sure the Highlanders are going to talk just about everything through. There's one half of football left to play in the regular season.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Valley City's got to be, okay with how the first half went with missing Gavin Gerhardt. Obviously, we've seen what Gavin Gerhardt can do. So obviously, missing him right now, it's showing that they're missing Gavin Gerhardt. And for Fargo South right now, I mean, they had the one drive. We had the one drive. Unfortunately, we didn't put it in. Then we got a field goal. They got a touchdown. I mean, that's the 2 drives that both offenses have had. Other than that, the defenses have played well. Now, if you're Fargo South, you almost feel like you should have shut them down because Gavin's not in the game.
So we'll see what adjustments are made at halftime by both of these teams, but a rapidly moving first half of football comes to a conclusion. And right now, the Highlanders trail the Fargo South Bruins on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard by a score of 7-3. Coming up, our halftime report. We'll run down the numbers in this one, our scoring summary as well. We'll take a look around at our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, some of those other games that are going on out there. And for those of you that are small school football fans, we'll preview some other playoff brackets that we have. The 11B goes into its first round this weekend. The round of 16, which is the second round for 9B, that'll get going with a couple of teams in our backyard duking it out down to Lemoore. So we'll run through some of those brackets coming up during our halftime report as well. But we've reached the end of the opening half, and your score on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard is Fargo South 7 and Valley City 3. We're back with our halftime report next. This is Highlander football on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is a supporter of many Valley City events and organizations. During the month of October, they'll donate $1 for every yard of fabric sold to the St. Catherine's School fundraiser. Also during the month of October, take 10% off all candles. 10% off all candles. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource. Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
The CHI Mercy Health Valley City Foundation invites you to join them for an evening of fun at the Valley City Eagles Club October 21st beginning at 5:30 with a social, raffles, auction, eats with a German flair, and dueling pianos at 8 p.m. Individual tickets are $25, can be purchased online at mercyhospitalvalleycity.org under the Foundation tab or by calling CHI Mercy Health in Valley City 701-845-6400. Proceeds from this event will benefit the purchase of a new mammography machine. Now back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
From Hannah Field tonight, it's 7-3 in favor of Fargo South over Valley City. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is 1490 KOVC AM Valley City and 96.3 K242CZ Valley City. The Voice of the Valley.
Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you here tonight. Really good first half of football for the Highlander defense. They pressured Brevin Work. They didn't let the running game really get away from them. The Bruins put together one solid drive, and that was it. But offensively, well, I guess it was a good half for the Bruin defense as well because they were really able to stymie Valley City except for one drive where the Highlanders didn't get into the end zone. And so at the end of the opening half, the Bruins with a 7-3 lead over Valley City. We'll take a look at some of the numbers here at the end of the first half of play. But the Highlanders had their most success with Zach Sikora. They struggled to get Ethan Miller going. It looks like there's something there in the passing game out in the flat that maybe they can take advantage of in the second half. It's been open. They haven't really gone to it a lot tonight. They may be waiting to the second half for it.
Yeah, they've had an opportunity out there, where they've had some waves of blue in front of the receivers. The running backs and receivers just haven't caught the ball out of the backfield in the swing passes. So they got to make sure they catch that ball. Bryson Heck's been pressured a little bit and probably rushed a few throws, so that might make a difference too. But right now, Ryan, this is what Gavin Gerhardt does for you, obviously, because he is sure being missed right now.
Yeah, the Highlanders are playing without Gavin Gerhardt tonight, who is playing with a bit of a shoulder injury. We're not sure about his status going forward. We hope that he's going to be able to return at some point, but the Highlanders are going to try to go out and win this football game without him tonight. And it's a game that, again, my numbers are unofficial, but I'm just kind of totaling things up right now. And I have this at total yardage in the opening half. Fargo South with 78, Valley City with 64. So it was a defensive struggle in the first half, and certainly the scoreboard indicates that with a 7-3 lead for Fargo South.
Yeah, and like we talked about, both offenses struggled. Both defenses did a good job. They basically had all those yards on two drives. Fargo South got most of their yards on one drive and got a touchdown. We got most of our yards on one drive and settled for a field goal. And that's the difference in the game right now, and that's why it's 7-3.
We'll take a look at some of the other scores that are out there tonight, but let's go ahead and give you the scoring summary on this one. The Highlanders get things going on their second drive of the night. Good drive for Zach Sikora. He had 45 yards rushing on that drive, and the Highlanders settled for a 21-yard field goal from Bryson Heck at 1:22 of the quarter, and that made it a score of 3-0 at that point. Flipped the script into the second quarter. The Bruins get things going on their lone scoring drive, and for Fargo South on that drive, a couple of big plays that came from their best running back, Damarian Semenko, as he got outside for 22 yards and 13 yards on one particular play. They had a 13-yard throw in that sequence that came out to Colby Nissen as well, and in the end, they ended up throwing a 10-yard touchdown strike into the hands of Zach Thomason, their backup tight end, to get into the end zone. That came at 3:22 of the opening half. The extra point kick was good. That made it 7-3. Something we can elaborate on, James. The one play that Fargo South did hurt the Highlanders with in the passing game tonight was that little screen pass into the hook as well. They tried to stretch the field tonight. They had no luck. Half the time they were pressured. The other half they had nobody to throw to. Highlanders did a really good job of protecting the vertical routes, but those little paths out in the middle, they're open right now for the Bruins.
Yeah, and that's where Fargo South hurt Valley City in that one drive. I mean, they threw a few passes on the outside, snuck the running back, and then snuck their tight end out for the touchdown. So Valley City's just going to have to make sure, I mean, they're pressuring the quarterback so much that Fargo South decided we're going to throw some quick little, out passes and make sure that they can't sack us, because when they tried to throw the ball down the field, the Valley City defense got in there and they would sack work. So they're going to have to make that adjustment. I see Fargo South dumping and dinking the ball down the field, and Valley City's just going to have to make that adjustment and maybe take their linebackers and just cover them guys. And, Valley City got pressure with their 3-4-man fronts.
Yeah, there were a couple of sacks with a 3-man rush tonight for Valley City, so they did quite well, particularly up on the defensive line. Before I get into the total numbers here tonight, James, you're wearing shorts tonight, man. And, 2 weeks ago when we were here playing Jamestown, it was cold. I mean, you could see your breath, and you must have a lot of faith in Mother Nature to step outside this morning and say, you know what, I'm wearing shorts to the game tonight. What's up with that?
Well, Ryan, most people out here know that if they see me in pants, something's wrong, because I don't wear pants very often. But, it's a beautiful October day. I mean, it was 50-some degrees today and not much wind, so it's very good. I actually woke up with a migraine headache this morning, so I wasn't sure how I was going to be today, but I took a nap and came out of it, and here I am in shorts again, and next week's going to be a cold one, but I can guarantee I'll have the shorts on.
Yeah, well, that's fine. If that's your gig, you do that. I mean, I wear the bow tie, you wear the shorts, and together we make it work, right?
That's right.
As far as the numbers are concerned, again, Fargo South with 78 yards of total offense in the opening half. Valley City with 64, and 55 of those came from rushing yardage from Zach Sikora. Now, the Highlanders went beyond that, but their net was 64 due to 17 yards and penalties that they had in the opening half. Zach Sikora with 55 yards rushing, 22 yards for Ethan Miller in the opening half, 2 catches, 2 yards apiece. One catch went to Jonah Harstead, and the other one to Aiden Jacobson. And I think Aiden Jacobson is a man that can play a little bigger role for Valley City in the second half. He did early against Jamestown when things weren't moving around very well. But again, 64 yards total offense for Valley City. Fargo South with 78 yards of total offense and really balanced. The leading man out there is Damarian Semenko, the running back, with 28 yards on the ground, a 13-yard catch and 14 yards on the ground for Colby Nissen, so 27 yards total offense there. A 10-yard touchdown catch for Zach Thomason, the backup tailback. A couple of catches for 4 total yards for Emmanuel Spy, and 4 yards on the ground for the quarterback, Brevin Work. But again, 78 yards total offense for South, 64 for Valley City. That is not conducive to a lot of scoring, nor do you see it on the halftime scoreboard. At the break, your score is 7-3, Fargo South over Valley City on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. We'll pause. When we come back on our halftime report, scores from around the state. There's not a lot that's close out there tonight. The other 2 games from 11A going on are really kind of distanced out as far as the score is concerned. And we'll preview some brackets for you as well as we get ready for playoff football at the small school level coming up this weekend. Right now, the Highlanders trail the Bruins 7-3. Halftime continues from Hannah Field next on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Stay with us.
This is Highliner Football on KOVC, the Voice of the Valley.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the water, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank on the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything from snacks and drinks to gear, propane, and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
The book is here.
The Smith Lumber Home Center Fall Merchandise Book is here for your shopping convenience. All kinds of items to get you ready for fall and winter. Lawn and garden, tools, automotive, building materials, electrical and heating, plumbing, paint, and more. Pick one up today and register to win one of 2 $500 shopping giveaways. The newly expanded Smith Lumber Home Center on East Main, Valley City. And coming soon, an all-new greenhouse in time for the holidays.
Now back to Highliner football on the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you tonight from Hannah Field in Valley City. It's at the break. The Highlanders trail the Bruins by a score of 7-3 in the regular season football finale tonight as we take a look at some scores on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard from around the area tonight. James, you've been keeping track of the Grand Forks Central Devils Lake game. That's an aerial assault up there in Devils Lake. Right now, the Knights with a big lead.
Yeah, they're up 49-21. Again, I mean, a lot of passing going on up there, and it's going to make some things interesting in the QRF, you know, this week. I mean, with Wapton kind of getting a big win over Turtle Mountain by quite a bit, and if Grand Forks, you know, they get a big win up there against Devils Lake, I mean, do they jump a spot? Does Wapton jump ahead of North the way North has been struggling? I mean, it's going to make for an interesting Monday when everything comes out and see the playoff matchups.
Yeah, we may not even wait for Monday. They usually do those rankings at some point over the weekend, so we may find out tomorrow where the playoff matchups are going to take us. Speaking of the playoffs, we'll talk about those coming up in a moment. Score update, Wahpeton leading Belcourt 62-20 tonight, so Wahpeton really tattooing Turtle Mountain there in their regular season finale as well. Playoff football tomorrow in Lemoore. Maple River, which is the co-op of Maple Valley and Hope Page, they won their opening round game over Richland and will advance to take on the #1 overall seed in 9-man football, which is Lemoore Litchfield Marion. So a couple of teams with Barnes County roots, right? Maple Valley, the Ariska and Fingal part of it is in Barnes County and Tower City right on the line. And meanwhile, Lemoore, Litchfield and Marion, Litchfield obviously Barnes County team, and they're going to play each other at Townsend Field in Lemoore. But tough task for Maple River coming up against the outright #1 seed in 9-man football.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, you go into the playoffs and you're excited because you're in the playoffs, and then, you know, you win your first round and then you find out, oh, wait, we got to go to Lemoore. Not good.
Yeah.
But, hey, you never know. That's why they play the games, man.
Now, as far as the 9-man is concerned, New Salem got the #2 seed again this year. Last year they were beaten in double overtime on their home field by the 3 seed Cavalier. They're the 2 seed this year. The 3 seed is not Cavalier. We thought it would be, but the 3 seed actually is the North Prairie Cougars. That would be Roulette and Rolla, the co-op there. And the 4 seed is Cavalier. 4-5, Cavalier Mayport would be a good one in the round of 8 if that materializes. But Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, and Maple River coming up tomorrow at Townsend Field in Lemoore. And as far as the 11B playoffs, the Kindred Vikings are the overall #1 seed, the defending state champions. They get Langdon area tomorrow. Couple of games from around our greater region. Central Cass will take on Bottineau. That game will be played at Roulette tomorrow. Bottineau's field is under construction. Weird, but that's the situation there. Hillsboro got the overall #3 seed. They get Lisbon tomorrow. And Oaks, I believe, got the 2 seed out of their region. They get Thompson. That'll be an interesting matchup. That'll be at Oaks tomorrow. Jake Starcevic, the quarterback for Thompson, has been starting as a football player since he was an 8th grader and has never looked out of place. He's their quarterback now as a sophomore, and that should be a good matchup coming up tomorrow. So some good stuff going out there in the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of good matchups there, a lot of interesting matchups with teams that know each other very well, and that'll be an interesting level to watch as well, because there's a lot of interesting things that could happen if Central Cass can go out and upset Bottineau out there, then they get Kindred, and you never know with those two because they're a big rival.
Kick away from Dockin to start the second half. The Highlanders get the football to start second half play, and the ball ends up being returned across the 20 to around the 23, I believe, by Aiden Jacobson. No, it was not Aiden Jacobson. I apologize. Tough to see. That might have been Ethan Miller that was on the return for Valley City. No, it wasn't Ethan Miller. That was actually Jonah Harstead that returned the kick, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, Jonah Harstead had the. We don't see that very often. So Jonah Harstead returning the kick to the 23-yard line. The Highlanders trailing by a score of 7-3. as we get underway in the second half. This is a tight game. The winner here, if you're the Highlanders, you get the outright number 1 seed into the 11A playoffs. If you're Fargo South, you may get 2 home games out of this by the time everything shakes itself out. And the Highlanders find themselves down by 4 as we start the second half. On 1st and 10, Sikora straight ahead on the carry. He'll bang his way across the 25 to around the 27-yard line. Be a gain of about 4 before he's brought down. Stop made by Alex Cossett, the linebacker for the Bruins. Maybe a 5-yard pickup for Zach Sikora. Right where the Highlanders left off to start to end the first half of play.
And this is going to be an interesting drive to see if Valley City made any adjustments, what they're going to do differently. Are they going to block a little different to try to open up that run game? Or are they going to come out and pass? Or what are they going to do? It'll be a fun drive to watch.
2nd down and 5. Bryson Heck under center again. They'll start Harstead across the formation. They give to Sikora in the backfield. Sikora trying to cover up the football. He maybe gets to the 30 for a gain of about 1, but there were a host of tacklers ready to meet him right away, led by Damarian Semenko. So 3rd down and 3. They're going to put the football at the 30-yard line. Maybe 3rd down and call it 3.5. And this is a crucial 3rd down in the opening drive. You're looking to grab some momentum here. You really need to move the sticks.
Yeah, Valley City's got to move the sticks here. We got to pick up this 1st down. Hopefully come out and get a good drive, to put together a good drive, because we have not been able to move the ball. Zach Sikora's been the horse for us with missing Gavin Gerhardt, and we'll see what the Highlanders do on 3rd down.
So here's 3rd and 3. Under center again, Heck tossed to the near side, looking for Miller. Miller being harassed and corralled and driven out of bounds. And we'll see. This is going to be very close. Actually, there was Jonah Harstead that ran the football. This will be very close. It looks like they're going to say it's enough. 3 yards for Jonah Harstead. Harstead hasn't had a chance to touch the ball much tonight, but that's enough to stretch the field for the Highlanders. And it's a Dairy Queen 1st down for the Highlanders and Jonah Harstead.
You know, and 2 weeks ago when we were here, when we watched the offensive line, they were blocking downfield and they were just moving people. And right now you can tell that Fargo South's just a little more physical than what we're used to when we played Jamestown, because they're not getting downfield. Right there, Jonah did a nice job. He almost ran through our offensive line because they weren't getting in front of him.
1st and 10 for the Highlanders. Turn, little carry again for Sikora, and a little bit of a delayed draw, and he's hit right at the 35-yard line. He'll be driven back by Tyler Christensen up on the defensive line for a gain of a couple of yards. Sikora, again, hard running, but those holes that were there on the 2nd drive for Valley City, they really haven't reemerged for Zach Sikora since, and it's 2nd down and 8 for the Highlanders.
No, and you can tell that's where, right now looking at the Fargo South defensive line, they're very athletic. They're more athletic than what we're used to right now, because our offensive line is struggling to open up the holes and get downfield and make, secondary blocks, and that's what they've done so well all year.
2nd and 8 for Valley City. Again, 7-3 Fargo South, just under 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Highlanders with the first second half possession. Here's a counter to the near side, and this will be, I believe, Miller that carries a football, or is it Harstead? That'll be Harstead. No, Miller. No, it was Harstead. 3 and 7 look pretty much the same from up here for a while, don't they? Harstead gets brought down at around the 39. That'll be a gain of about 4. So here comes 3rd down and 4 for Valley City. Another crucial 3rd down play for the Highlanders, but Jonah Harstead getting into the act. That seems to be the adjustment here.
Yeah, and he's a hard runner too. But right there you just saw Will Schwer on the lead. He was the lead blocker out there, and he kind of just ran by a few of the guys from Fargo South and turned around and looked disappointed that his running back wasn't behind him. That just shows you how athletic these guys are from Fargo South.
So here's 3rd down and 4. The Highlanders flinch, and Zach Sikora ends up making a little bit of an extra play in the backfield. That's going to cost the Highlanders 5 yards.
Yeah, the jump might be okay because there wasn't nothing there. He was looking to throw to Aiden Jacobson on a quick pass, and he was covered. And number 20 for Fargo South, Trenton Hofford, he was in there, and he was going to sack Bryson Heck, so maybe a blessing in disguise.
So here's 3rd down and 9 for the Highlanders, back at the 34-yard line, already 3 minutes off this 3rd quarter clock. The Highlanders have had the football to start this second half, but again, trailing by a score of 7-3 and looking to find some offense to materialize. And again, we've seen some slow going. There have been some extra small holes for the Highlanders to run through here that weren't there in the first half. Back to the wing T look. Lone receiver left on 3rd down and 9. Little fake toss, and this one was broken up in the backfield. It may have been there for Zach Sikora, but he ran into, I believe, his pulling guard, Broden Muskie, and ends up going down at around the 38 for perhaps a gain of 2. It's 4th down and 6, and I think they were just slow running the counter, James.
Yeah, it was a counter. They actually had Aiden Jacobson run that ball there on the counter, and he ran into that big guy from Fargo South in the backfield. He was fortunate to get a couple yards after he ran it, but if he would have avoided that guy, there was a hole there that I think he might have been able to pick up big yards.
Yeah, something opened up there, but again, the timing just a little off as Bryson Heck is on to punt the football. This one's a good one. High, driving, spiraling kick. It's bobbled a bit and then will be returned on the near side by Emmanuel Spivey. Spivey looking to get away. A flag comes in. Highlanders corral Spivey and the ball came out. Valley City says they have it, and they clearly do, as it's out with Jonah Harstead on the bottom of the pile. Valley City believes they've stripped the football. There is a flag down, and who knows what the flag's going to be. It's right where the ball was being returned. So if the penalty's against Valley City, it'll stay South football anyway. But right now, 3 officials are discussing, and the crowd waits with bated breath as to what's going to happen at the Bruin 27.
Yeah, I mean, Valley City clearly came out of that with the football before he was down. But it'll be interesting to see because there was no beanbag tossed as there was a fumble, but it was a strip. So, maybe the official just didn't even see him strip the ball.
Really tough to see in that situation. Here comes the call from Brian Yanish.
Block in the back. Return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So it's going to be South football. It'll be a block in the back against the Bruins, so no turnover. And the ball's going to go back to the 16-yard line and the block in the back against Fargo South. So not what the Highlanders were looking forward to, but when I saw the flag, I thought they were going to get Valley City with a face mask. And so I think that in the long run, you kind of split the difference here.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. I mean, unfortunately, I think it was also one of those plays that you stripped the ball, but you kind of took him down at the same time, so the official couldn't see where the ball was. And I mean, you just got to assume the offensive guy has the ball or the returner.
Big defensive stand here. 2 tight ends balanced for Fargo South. Shotgun snap for Brevin Work. He's got a slot to his right that he'll start in motion. That's Thomason from right to left across the formation. He lines up behind left guard. Big hole on the near side. Colby Nissen charging through it, gets up to around the 26 and is then driven back, but that's a 10-yard pickup. And boy, the Bruins didn't even disguise the play. They said, here's where we're going to run it, come and stop it, and a 10-yard pickup on the play for Colby Nissen.
Yeah, the offensive line for Fargo South right there, I mean, they opened up a hole that you could have drove a semi through, and he hit it hard, and when he did hit it, he carried 3 Highlanders for about another 3-4 yards.
1st and 10 for Fargo South at their own 27-yard line. The Highlanders trailing 7-3 to the Bruins. The clock at 7:36 to play in the third quarter. Single receivers going each way. Emmanuel Spivey is wide to the near side of the field. Hansgaard wide to the right. Shotgun snap for Work. He wants to throw. He'll roll away from pressure. Sets up, stops, hit, drop, goes down. Quarterback sack again. Back inside the 20 at around the 19-yard line. And it's Dylan Hunt up on the defensive line who comes after him. But again, James, credit that one as a coverage sack. There was no one to throw to. There was time there on the rollout, but there were just no options for Brevin Work.
Well, and to be honestly, Work was lucky that he didn't fumble the ball because he had it in his one hand. He didn't see Dylan Hunt coming because he was worried about Broden Muskie in front of him. Dylan Hunt came from behind and just, took him down. And that's one of those plays that if Dylan Hunt comes in and he swipes at the ball, with the hammer, he might knock it out of his arm, and there might be a fumble there, and that would have been a momentum changer for us.
2nd down and 19 for the Bruins after the sack. 4 receivers. Head coach Scott Rorick is lobbying about something that he doesn't like on the coverage. It's not going to matter. This ball's thrown to the far side of the field where there's no one. Brevin Work is brought down back at around the 2. He just whipped the ball to get rid of it, and he was fortunate that Colby Nissen was out in the vicinity because there was also a guard out there. In the long run, that could have been intentional grounding. Instead, it's 3rd down and 19.
Yeah, Coach Rorick wanted a timeout there. He was trying to get his player to go to the other side of the field, but I'm thinking he's thinking afterwards, I'm glad I didn't get that timeout because it was almost a quarterback sack down at the 5-yard line. But yeah, you're right. Work just kind of slung it out there, and he's lucky that Neeson was there because there was an offensive lineman in the vicinity too.
So here comes 3rd down and 19 for Fargo South. 4 receivers, 2 each way, 2 stacked on the near side. More pressure. Work is hit, throws the ball up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Oh boy, the Highlanders thought they had a guaranteed pickoff. Aiden Jacobson had the ball go through his wickets at the 40, down on a knee to try to pull that one in, and somehow he didn't quite make the catch. It'll be 4th down and 19. Not sure if he was thinking about running with it. He went down to a knee to catch it. In the long run, though, if he gets a decent punt return here, he's going to end up right back at the 40 anyway, as the Bruins will punt on 4th and 19.
But yeah, Zakora got in there and he, disrupted the pass and hung up there, and that's when Aiden Jacobson picks off. He's picked off a few like that and made good returns, and that would have been a big momentum changer again.
Dockin to kick it. Kick is away. Wobbler far side of the field. Pro Fargo South hop. This is going to roll inside the Highlander 40 and will come down to the 35-yard line. So, yeah, that's a tough break for the Highlanders. Would have had it at the 40. Instead, they'll have it at their own 35. 25 yards difference in field position. But nonetheless, a good defensive stand for Valley City when they needed it. They need the football right now. They got it back without giving up points. The Bruins still lead 7-3 with 6:09 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's like Valley City doesn't have the energy that we've had in the past offensively with Gavin Gerhardt. It's like they're out there just like, lost without Gavin out there. And, I mean, somebody's just, like we've talked about at the beginning, we talked about it earlier, somebody has to step up. We got to make a big play and get somebody excited. I mean, right now it's just like Valley City's not excited to have the football.
1st and 10, Valley City from their own 35. They trail 7-3 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. The Highlanders with a wing T look. They'll start a man in motion. They give to Sikora. Right side getting low, trying to bang off tacklers. Out to the 36 for a short gain of 1. Stop made on the near side of the football field for the Bruins by Alex Cossett. And it'll be 2nd down and 9. Sikora now with 65 yards on the night.
Yeah, and a lot of carries. I mean, they're giving Zach Sikora all Gavin Gerhardt's carries. I mean, we're not getting anything out of it. We're going to have to open up, Ryan. I mean, we can't keep running the fullback dive for 1 yard. I mean, it just ain't going to work.
I feel like, that the Highlanders really believe that the more they wear down a defense, the more they're going to be okay. But this South defense isn't showing any signs of cracking tonight. 2nd down and 9. Heck under center again. Another wing T look. The turn. It's Sikora again up the middle, and Sikora gets low. Maybe drives the pile to around the 40 for a gain of about 3. But, I side with you on this one, James. This is becoming a little too conservative, I think, for this point in the game. You're under halfway left of the third quarter here.
Yeah, and all year, you're right, Ryan, when you said that. I mean, Valley City has wore down defenses. I mean, it's worked for us in the past. I mean, we did it even, you could see against Jamestown when they were here. They got wore down, they got tired. But this Fargo South defense is athletic. They're big, they're strong, they're not getting wore down.
They just lost an athlete. Colby Nissen went off the field struggling to get off. Trawali comes in, and Fargo South jumps across the line of scrimmage, and I don't know if it'll be enough for a first down or not. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It'll certainly make 3rd down more manageable unless they mark this off against the Highlanders, which it looks like they're ready to do. Let's wait and see what we're going to hear from our referee tonight, Brian Yanish. It is encroachment against Fargo South. We just had an official turn. That's Lance Lukes that's marking the football forward, and they're going to say it's enough for a first down. So a Dairy Queen first down on the penalty for Valley City. Move the ball to the 45. We'll see if that's the spark the Highlanders need.
And as a coach, that's one of those things, yeah, you got a first down on the offsides, but it's one of those ones, man, do you want that at the 3rd and inches and try to hopefully go for something bigger on 3rd down and then try to muster it on 4th down, or do you take the first down? Obviously, you take the first down because you have no choice. But
right now, I feel like you just want the first down, right? Toss the left side for Harstead. He's got Muskie out to block in front of him. Harstead tries to stretch it, got a little bit of a block, stumbles forward, picks up around 3. He's out of bounds at the far boundary for the Bruins at the 48-yard line. Gain of about 3 yards. Again, give Broden Muskie credit. Good run to get out there. I think Broden Muskie's probably had the game of the night for Valley City. He's been very active on both sides.
Yeah, right now he is, and I mean, to get 3 yards on that play, I mean, it started on the right hash, ran it outside. Broden Muskie led that. I mean, picked up Kegby so he could actually pick up 3, but that's a lot of running for only 3 yards.
2nd down and 7 for Valley City. Single receiver to the left. And we'll see the wing T look again. Bryson Heck under center will turn. Sikora looking to sidestep a man at the point of attack and crosses midfield to the 49. Gain of about 3 more yards here for the Highlanders. That old cloud of dust behind it. Zach Thomason will make the stop. Here comes 3rd down and 3 for Valley City. Maybe 3rd and a long 3 from the Bruin 49.
Yeah, you're across midfield again. So, I mean, is it 4-down territory again here, down 7-3? In the third quarter. I mean, hopefully they can pick it up on 3rd down and get the first down, but if you do come up a little bit short, do you end up going for it?
Here comes 3rd down and call it 3.5. Heck takes the turn, counter play, and not much there as this one's going to be stopped. It may have been Aiden Jacobson that carried the football. If not, it was Connor Sewer that carried the ball. I think it was actually Connor Sewer that got the ball. And right at the line of scrimmage is where the play will be stopped, the 49. So no gain on the play. The Highlanders look like they're going to punt the football. And I think I like this better, James, than going for it just for the standpoint that you can play the field position game in a one-score game.
Yeah, you got to punt it now. I mean, I was just thinking if you picked up 3 yards,
Sure.
you made it 4th and 1, do you go for it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you got to punt the ball here because your defense has been playing so well.
Heck will kick it. Kick is away. Driving kick end over end near side of the field, and Spivey will try to return it near side. Actually, it's not Spivey. It's going to be Jaden Middleton, and he gets corralled back at the 15-yard line. It will go nowhere. Good special teams play by Will Schwer, getting up the field and making the stop for Valley City. It'll bring them down, the Bruins, at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for Fargo South with 3:03 to play in this third quarter of football. The Bruins leading 7-3 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. The official spot will be the 17-yard line.
Well, right now, Valley City's got to just be fortunate that it's 7-3. They haven't moved the ball offensively very well. Defense has done a nice job of holding Fargo South, but what you can't have happen right here is let Fargo South put together a drive and chew up the clock and score, because then it becomes a 2-score game. So this is a big possession for Valley City's defense.
1st and 10 for the Bruins at their own 17-yard line. Work takes the snap, will give it away. Hole on the right side, short hole for Damarian Semenko. And Semenko out to around the 20 for a gain of about 3. It looked like that was going to go for more than it actually turned into. Pretty good fill out of the defensive backfield for Caden Amon. I think he came in and made part of the play, and Broden Muskie was there early.
Yeah, and that just shows you how athletic our secondary and our defensive backs are and how they can fill like that, because there was a big hole. There was a lot of room, and they filled up and held it to a 2-yard gain.
2nd down and 7. The Bruins with 2 tight ends balanced once again. Work waiting out of the shotgun. They motion a man across the formation from right to left. Again, they'll give to Damarian Semenko. He's wrapped up by Connor Sewer and driven backward, and he'll be down in the grasp of the 21-yard line for a gain of 1. They tried that play again where they sort of overload off left tackle, but the Highlanders are having none of it. Here comes 3rd down and 6 for the Bruins from their own 21-yard line.
Yeah, it's almost like Coach Kozel went into coast mode here and just conservative mode, trying to chew up some of the clock, running the ball, being conservative and just trying not to give Valley City any momentum, which is, smart in a way, because if you give Valley City the momentum, they can hurt you in a real hurry.
And besides, I don't know that your defense has really been threatened by the Highlanders tonight, and so you might be comfortable with that unit on the field right now. 3rd down and 6. 3 receivers to the right, lone man left. Work takes a shotgun snap, throws in the flat, pass dropped. It was intended for Damarian Semenko. I think he gator gobbled it a little bit. He kind of put his arms out, but only halfway. Didn't pull it in. The Highlanders get a stop on 4th down. And right now, James, if anything's going to change the momentum, it's special teams. We've been all around the punts tonight. I think you got to come all out on this one.
Well, I would. I mean, they're not faking it here, I don't think. I mean, they got the lead with, almost the end of the 3rd quarter, but right there, Fargo South's running back, you're right, he did get it because he had 2 Highlanders coming in. If he would have caught it, he wouldn't have got the 1st down anyway.
Dockin to kick it. Kick nearly blocked again by Muskie. It's a short kick. It'll take a Bruin hop at the midfield stripe and then rolls back into Bruin territory at the 48 and is touched up by Austin Zulu at the 48-yard line of the Bruins. So the Highlanders, 1st down and 10 from the 48 of Fargo South. A reminder, tomorrow, Viking football will be at Forest City, Iowa to take on Waldorf. And yes, I'll be making the trip down there following the completion of this game and a nap. Pre-game coverage at around 12:30. The kickoff's at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon from Forest City, Iowa, which I understand is just a few miles across the border down I-35 south of the Twin Cities. I've never been there. So.
Well, this is a big possession right now, Ryan, for Valley City's offense. I mean, we got to get some momentum. We got to move the football. We haven't been able to. A minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. I think if we can find a way to get a touchdown, I mean, our defense can hold them.
Sewer motions across the formation. They run jet sweep with him, and he can't break a tackle. He's down back at the 49-yard line. That play just disrupted right away. Good play coming up off the defensive line for Fargo South from Reese Kessel, who's been out there a couple of times tonight making stops. And we'll see Sewer down to the 49 for a loss of 3. It's 2nd down and 13.
And that's just what this Fargo South defense does. I mean, they stretch the field. They use the field. They just don't let you get upfield. Their blockers are our blockers aren't pushing them back any, so they're just able to stretch that out and make the tackle when they get to the outside.
Heck under center on 2nd down and 13. He wants to throw. 3-step drop, going to stretch the field far side. Looking down the sideline, it's incomplete. 2 men were there covering Aiden Jacobson. The Highlanders take a shot downfield, and Bryson Heck threw it where only Jacobson could go up and make a play. James, I trust Bryson Heck with a football. I really do. I mean, I've seen him make some plays the last couple of weeks. The game against Jamestown, a really solid throw against Central last week for a touchdown to Ethan Miller. I think you got to put the ball in his hands right now. He's a sophomore, but I think you got to see what he can do for you at this point.
Well, and it's time, Ryan. I mean, you know just as well as I do, we're not moving the football running. I mean, we can't move the football running right now, so we're going to have to try to open it up and figure out a way to open that run game up and score a touchdown in this football game, and Bryson Heck's going to have to do it for us, I think.
3rd and 13, Heck under center. Looks to start the offense. 3-step drop, quick throw in the flat, pass caught to the 45-yard line for the Highlanders. Be a pickup of around 6 yards, so here comes a 4th down and 7. And the Highlanders are set to send the punt team back out there. Pass is caught, I believe, by Zach Sikora. No correction, Aiden Jacobson pulled that in. And so here comes 4th down and 7 for Valley City from the Bruin 45.
See, and those are the passes that I'd like to see him do on 1st down. I mean, open it up, get him a 4 or 5 yard gain. I mean, make 2nd and 3rd down manageable. I don't think we need to go for the gusto and throw the Hail Mary right now and go down the field, but we need to dink and dunk the football.
Well, that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter of football as the clock will run out before the Highlanders punt the ball. So that's going to take us to the end of 3. And there's been 1 touchdown scored so far tonight, and that's been scored by Fargo South. We're through 3 quarters of football, and on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard here at Hannah Field, it remains Fargo South 7 and Valley City 3. The 4th quarter is next after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Highlander football on the voice of the Valley and the voice of the Highlanders, KOVC.
This is Highliner football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
Rake in the savings at Lever's Foods. This week get fresh red potatoes, 5-pound bag, $2.79. Our family shredded or chunk cheese, $1.85. Our family 100% pure pumpkin in the can, $1.29.
Lever's Foods.
Delivery available. Call 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City. Great food, great savings.
Now back to Highliner football on the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
From Hannah Field tonight, Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you. The Highlanders will kick it on 4th down and 7 to start the 4th quarter, trailing 7-3. Bryson Heck puts a good leg into this one. Fair catch is signaled for by the Bruins at the 15-yard line. That catch comes in with Jaden Middleton. So the Bruins backed up in their own territory. 1st and 10, their own 15. Every possession becomes important now. The Highlander defense has performed tonight, but the offense has really struggled. 71 yards for Zach Sikora. Not much to work with. Passing game just barely opened up there at the end of 3. It's Bruin football, though, to start the 4th, and we need one more stand again out of the Highlander defense.
Well, and this is the big one right now, starting the 4th quarter here. I mean, you got 1 quarter to play, down 4. Got to come up with a stop, keep the ball in the, this half of the field so we can have a chance, and then our offense is going to have to open it up.
Brevin Work officially from the 14 for the Bruins with 4 receivers, 3 to the far side of the football field. Work takes the snap, looking to his left, throws underneath, pass caught and dropped over the middle of the football field. It was caught by George Hansgaard, and he dropped it, trying to turn up the middle. That's similar to the play that was run last week by Grand Forks Central, where they gained all those yards with Jack Simmers. You got to catch the ball first, though. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Bruins.
Yeah, I like the play call, and it's what I wish Valley City would come out and do, too. I mean, just throw that short curl. I mean, they're playing off of them, pick up 4 or 5 yards. But, yeah, you got to catch the ball. And Ryan, right now, I don't know, maybe I'm missing him out there, but I do not see Ethan Miller on the football field right now defensively, and he is normally one of our cornerbacks.
Yeah, and I don't know that we saw him on that last series because Connor Sewer has come in now as a running back, and so we may be down a couple of men here for the Highlanders. 2nd down and 10. Shotgun snap for Work. Quick throw over the middle, pass caught. Short gain. This will be pulled in at around the 17-yard line for maybe 2 or 3 yards of gain, and that gain will go to Reese Kessel for his first catch tonight. They will give him 2 and some change, so it's 3rd down and 8 coming up for Fargo South.
A good job by Broden Muskie there making that tackle after the catch. I mean, I'm okay with giving him the catch, but make sure you make the tackle, because if he breaks that tackle, you get big yards. And looking on the sideline, I don't even see Ethan Miller on the sideline right now either. I'm not sure what happened to Ethan.
Yeah, that makes me wonder if there was a numbers change out there somewhere along the way, but perhaps not. So here comes 3rd down and 8 for Fargo South. Play clock down to 4. Brevin Work waiting for a snap. Blitz is shown. It comes back. Doesn't matter. Works in all kinds of trouble. Throws near side of the football field. Pass is caught at around the 22-yard line. And stepping out of bounds is Dwayne Mitchell, who comes up with a catch. It'll be a short gain, maybe about 3 yards. Leaves the Bruins with a 4th down and 3 from their own 22-yard line. And again, there was all kinds of pressure bearing down on Brevin Work. And the Bruins on 3rd down, actually 4th down, call it 2, looked like they're going to punt the football.
I just got a message from Ethan's dad. Ethan is out. He broke his collarbone.
Oh, man.
Not good.
Yeah, there's no chance to get him back after a collarbone situation for the remainder of the year. So the Highlanders now down 2 of their most potent offensive weapons at this point. Kick is away. Very low line drive kick. Scramble drills on for the Highlanders. They're going to let it roll across the 45 and down to the 43. So it's 1st and 10 for Valley City at their own 43. But the update coming in, Ethan Miller's gone for the year if it's a broken collarbone. That's a usually year-ending type of thing if it happens in week number 1, and this happened obviously in week 9. So no Gavin Gerhardt, no Ethan Miller. You're down perhaps 2 of your most potent weapons. And what do you do if you're Valley City to script an offense here?
Well, right now, Ryan, I mean, you got to turn to the sophomore quarterback. I mean, you got to let him do his thing, see what he can do here. I mean, you're going to have to try to get Aiden Jacobson involved in this football game. You're going to have to try to get the Amon involved in this football game. You're going to have to trust Connor Seward to step up. I mean, we got to do something out of the ordinary. Zach Zakor is a great player, and he's great up the middle, but I don't think he can get it done for us just because Fargo South's so aggressive and big up front.
Well, Sikora gets the call on 1st down and spins his way across the 45 to the 46 for a gain of about 3 yards. Thomason, Kessel, and the group there that we've been talking about throughout the night for Fargo South making the stop. 2nd down and 7. Right now it seems like the Highlanders are going to hang their hat on the idea that they're going to break one big one, and that's going to be the difference right now. They're just waiting for that.
You know, and I'd like to see him throw that curl, that slant or something to Aiden Jacobson, get him involved. I mean, he can make people miss when he gets the ball.
2nd down and 7, toss right side, looking for a hole is Jonas. couple. 4th down and 3. They're going to send the punt unit out, I think. I go for it here. I really do. From the midfield stripe. I mean, we're down to 9 minutes to go. I think I might try to keep the football, but they're going to punt it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, no change. Not trying to open up anything. We're going to run the same plays as we have, and I'm not trying to be mean, but we got to open something up and do something different. It hasn't worked all game, and we didn't make any changes. And
of course, without Miller now, you wonder what plan. I mean, you don't go into a game with that kind of plan, right? Kick is away. And Spivey will go down to a knee to try to catch it, or didn't quite make it to the knee. Caught it around the 25, and it'll be 1st and 10 Bruins at the 25-yard line with the Highlanders trailing 7-3. 8:45 left to go with the 4th quarter. And, you know, James, when you start talking about what's the next plan, I mean, you don't go into a situation where you think you're going to be down both Gerhardt and Miller. So the Highlander coaching staff is probably just drawing cards to see what it is that they can put together here in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and I understand that, but what a great time to see what your sophomore quarterback can do, right? Let's open it up. Let's try something different. I mean, right now, without Gavin, without Ethan Miller, who they've keyed on all game, And now they're keying on Zach Sikora because he's your next man up, and they've keyed on him and stopped him, so we got to make a change.
1st and 10 for Fargo South at their own 25. They lead at 7-3, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. Work will give it away towards the far side, and Semenko on the carry. Little stretch play to the flat. He's able to cross the 30 and ends up being run out of bounds on the Bruins sideline at perhaps the 32 or 3. It'll be a 6-yard pickup for Semenko to the 33-yard line. 2nd down and 4 coming up for Fargo South. Clock halted with 8:33 to go.
And we know, Ryan, this is the biggest possession of the game for this Highlander defense. They got to make a stop here to give the Highlander offense the ball back with only down 1 score so we can try something. So this is a big possession for us right here and a big play.
2nd down and 4 for the Bruins. Work out of the shotgun, takes it. Semenko, left side off tackle, struggling forward. He's able to burrow his way for a first down. Gets out near the 38-yard line, be enough for 5 and enough for a first down. The Highlanders had men there at the point of attack, but Semenko got a little slippery on that play, and Broden Muskie had to bring him down from behind.
Yeah, they're just running hard. Our Highlander defense is getting a little tired. Somebody's going to just have to dig deep here, find it. This is, you get a couple first down, chews up a lot of clock, and it also changes the field position, and that's big for Fargo South because we haven't been able to move the ball very well.
7-3 Bruins with 8:15 to play of the fourth quarter, and it's 1st and 10 for Fargo South. They have the football at their own 38. Another shotgun snap coming up for Brevin Work. Again, men to his right and left in the backfield with him. 2 tight ends balanced across the line. Semenko trying to attack left side, nowhere to go. He got to the 40, and he's driven back. Again, it looks like there's a big hole there, but he goes one-on-one, and Broden Muskie comes out of there again, I believe, with the stop with some help. But my goodness, Broden Muskie has been just a man among boys tonight for the Highlander defense.
Yeah, he's filling every hole. When there is a big hole, he steps up and he's making some plays tonight. I mean, heck of a job by Broden Muskie to close that out and only give him a couple yards because, like you said, there was a hole the size of, I don't even know what to say because it was big.
I wouldn't believe the Bruins are going to throw the football anymore tonight either. 7:25 to play in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 8. They feel like they're in control of the football game. Work out of the shotgun, men to his right and left. Semenko again, backfield, and there's nowhere to go. Dylan Hunt caught him this time, and Hunt brings him down for a big loss. Forward progress will have him back at the 35. It's going to be a loss of 6 yards on the play, maybe more. The 34, it'll be a loss of 7. Dylan Hunt's had a very nice game tonight for the Highlanders as well. Just a sophomore, but man, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of him up there over the years.
Well, and that's what I was just looking at, too, to see what year he was, because a sophomore there as your outside end, and then you got your other end, Scott Rohde, who's only a sophomore as well. So what a defensive line we're going to have for the years to come in Valley City.
3rd down, 13. Huge play for the Highlanders trying to get the football back with 6:40 to play in the fourth quarter. Shotgun snap for Work. He drops back. Good protection, rolling away from some pressure, in some trouble in the flat, hit, he's going down, back at the 30-yard line. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on another quarterback sack. Caden Amon with a huge play for Valley City. He was the spy on the quarterback, came up and put a shoulder right into Work's midsection and drove him backwards for the sack.
We got a new cornerback in there, obviously, Jamison Muchler in there for the first time, taking Ethan Miller's spot, did a nice job on coverage, and Work just had nowhere to throw the football, and Caden Amon did a really good job of coming up and making a big hit. Big stop for the Highlanders.
Aiden Jacobson, Jonah Harstead back to return the punt. Kick is away. It's short. Spiraling down the field. Pro Fargo South roll at the 35 and will be touched up circa the 30. I believe it was just grazed at the 30-yard line by one of the Bruins downfield. So this is gut check time for Valley City. 5:46 to go in the fourth quarter. The Highlanders trail 7-3. They have the football at their own 30-yard line. They need one big play to get down in scoring distance. They got to try to put one in the house. I think a touchdown wins it for the Highlanders with the way their defense is playing right now.
Well, and here it is. I mean, this is it, Ryan. 5:46 left in the game. Fourth quarter down by 4. I mean, you're right. It's gut check time. You got the offensive line got to dig deep. They got to maintain their blocks. I mean, we're going to have to open it up and try something different.
The Highlanders with a 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. We'll see Bryson Heck under center. They motion Harstead in the backfield, give it to him on a counter. He's got a hole up the middle. He'll cross the 35, scampers out to around the 36. Solid gain of 6 yards for Jonah Harstead, and it's a 2nd and 4 coming up for Valley City.
And I like the play call right now. I think right now with our running backs and the personnel that we have, they're not going to make people miss. So what we need to do is we need to use Sikora as a fullback and a lead blocker and open up some holes, and that's just what he did right there. I mean, he opened up the holes and, good first down play, 6-yard gain, and I'm not sure what's going on now here with
the Highlanders have a helmet come off, or do they have something they're having to tend to with an injury or something along those lines? They're actually going to take a player off the field. That's Jamison Muchler, who you were talking about a moment ago. And now Valley City has called for timeout. So the Highlanders will call for a timeout. We'll do the same. It's a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. On the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard in the regular season finale, 5:03 left of the fourth. Highlanders trail 7-3. Highlander football will we continue next on KOVC.
This is Highliner Football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
This is Hannah Wieland, a freshman at Valley City State University. The V500 scholarship members' generosity and commitment is exactly the kind of community involvement we need to keep VCSU going strong. The many scholarships provided are a testament to the support of the alumni, family, and friends of VCSU. Please keep expanding the opportunities available to enhance the lives of the next generation and make a difference for attracting future Vikings by supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Back quickly after the timeout by the Highlanders. It's 2nd down and 4 for Valley City from their own 36. They start Jacobson in motion. Sikora right side trying to shred through a tackler. Could not. He's hit at the point of attack. Maybe is going to get a yard to around the 37. A host of Bruins were there to meet him in the process. And so here comes 3rd down and 3. The stop will go to Colby Nissen. 3rd and 3 for Valley City. Crucial 3rd down. I think it's got to be 4-down territory at this point with 4:40 to go in the game. And you're down 7-3.
Yeah, it's going to be 4-down territory now with lack of time on the clock. But again, you got 2nd and 4. I mean, you got to open this baby up. We're limited to time, and we got to go the distance, and we haven't moved the ball much at all.
3rd and 3 under center. The toss to the right side. Jacobson looking for a hole in the right. He tries to scoot forward and dives as he's cut down the backfield for no gain on the play. Maybe a mild loss. It's going to be 4th down and 4. Boy, the Highlanders are showing signs of running their punt team onto the field. And you're at 4:05 to go. This clock will tick under 4 minutes left. Even if you use your 2 timeouts and get stops, you're only going to get the ball back with about 2:15 to go. And I don't know. I think I might roll the dice here, but they're going to try to punt the football.
Well, I think you got to roll the dice, and I'm not a big fan of the play calling that we had there on our 2nd and 3rd down. It's just conservative and
flag comes out. Highlanders have too many men. Let's see. We're going to have
illegal substitution.
Yeah.
Offense, 12 men in
Yep. Yeah, the Highlanders had 12 men on the field. So illegal substitution penalty against the Highlanders, and 4th down and 9 coming up. You know, there's word, I don't know how loud it is, that the illegal substitution penalty is going to become much stiffer as years go on. There are some teams around the country that are trying to mess around a little bit, and they're being caught with illegal substitution. In that case, it wasn't Valley City, just had too many men out there, but we're hearing 15 yards and a loss of down at some point on illegal substitution. So
what do you do on the 4th down? Is it a turnover?
It's a turnover on downs, yeah. So here comes 4th down and 9. The Highlanders will kick it. Kick is away from Bryson Heck. Another good kick for Heck tonight to the 35-yard line where this is returnable, and a great open field tackle is made on that play by Caden Ahmed, who's had a really nice night on Jaden Middleton. Middleton will go down to the 43. So let's see what we got here. 3:27. The Highlanders have 2 timeouts. In a very perfect world here, the Bruins will be able to run 1 complete 40-second clock, and so if you used your 2 timeouts, you're still going to end up giving back 55 seconds of game clock, so you're looking at maybe, best case, 2.5 minutes left in the game when you get the football back, and that's if you get 3 straight stops.
And that's if, yeah, exactly. I mean, right now you got to step up. You got to make sure they don't get any yards on 1st and 2nd down, and hopefully hold them on 3rd down, make them punt, and get that little bit of chance.
1st and 10 Bruins. They'll give it away to Semenko, and he's hit and dropped at the 45-yard line. The ball came out. Valley City says they have it, and it's Valley City football. A turnover. Semenko gives the football back, puts it on the turf. The Highlanders recover it. Jamison Muchler comes out of the bottom of the pile with the football for the Highlanders at the 47 of Fargo South. It's Valley City football, and a chance for the Highlanders on a short field to turn something around to the very end of the game.
Well, right now you look at this Fargo South sidelines, and Tyler Kozel, he's petitioning that he was down, and you know what, even if he was or wasn't, we can't see from here, but that's the break the Highlanders might have needed right there, and Now we got to just punch one in here. We got to take this momentum that we have, take the energy, drive down 46, 47 yards, punch one in and win this football game. It's no time.
Whatever play that the Highlanders have been holding on to at this point, it's time to run it now. 3:20 left to go, fourth quarter. 7-3 Fargo South after the opening turnover of the night. The turn to the near side. Will Schwer, correction, Jacobson wants to throw it, does, and the pass is picked off at the 25-yard line. It's taken away by Emmanuel Spivey. Spivey coming up the near side of the field, hit as he got to the Highlander 45 and dropped. And Valley City will give the football back to Fargo South on an option pass where Aiden Jacobson looked to throw it and threw it underneath, and the Bruins will take it away. Back-to-back turnovers traded by the two teams, and it's Bruin football at the 46-yard line with 3:05 to go.
Okay, Ryan, so I know that ball was well underthrown, but the defender from Fargo South did not turn around.
Right.
And as the receiver for Valley City came back, he ran him over.
I saw it.
There has to be a penalty on that play right there.
I would lobby for one as well. The receiver that was intended was run over and not given a chance to come back to the football. In the long run, they don't see it that way. Colby Nissen will take the football and goes down right at the point of attack. We have an injured Highlander. That's Broden Muskie. He's slow to get up. The Highlanders are not going to use a timeout here, so the Bruins will have to run their next play at about the 2:18 mark. Then the Highlanders would use their timeouts. And so right now the Highlanders looking best case at getting it at about 2:05 or less if they can get two more stops, and they'll be deep in their own end.
Well, and basically we're back to where we were before the fumble that we recovered and before the interception. We're back to that, almost the same spot on the field too.
Just took a little bit of time to run a couple of plays is all. Second down and 10. Work out of the shotgun, men to his right and left, a pair of receivers each side of the football field. He takes the snap, gives it away, stretch play Semenko trying to run to the edge. Semenko's got a little bit of a hole to work with. A flag comes down. The flag is back at the 48-yard line. So this could be a significant loss for the Bruins. The play goes out of bounds as well, which will keep the clock halted at the 2:12 mark. And the flag is going to be revised to the 49 of Valley City, indicating holding. And that's going to be the call against Fargo South. So a 10-yard mark off, and that'll be from the spot. That'll be a 13-yard penalty against the Bruins. But second down replays, so it'll be second down at 23, but the Bruins get to run another play.
And that was honestly the interesting thing. I mean, if you can decline that penalty, I mean, he went out of bounds, so he stopped the clock for you. It would have been 3rd and 5. So do you take your chances on the 5-yard? I mean, you got to move him back, but time is essence right now.
Those are the types of decisions that I'm glad Scott Rorick gets paid to make. I wouldn't want to have to make that one at all. Second down and 23 for the Bruins. Shotgun snap again to work, dropping back, good time. Throws over the middle, pass is caught by Emmanuel Spivey. That'll be caught at the Highlander 36-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by about a half a yard. They're gonna stop it to try to take a look and see if he got the first down. Clock stop with 1 minute and 59 seconds, but Spivey will take it right to the yards to gain. It's going to be a 23-yard pickup, and the Bruins will have a first down to the 36-yard line, and that is probably the play that's going to put a dagger into this one.
Yeah, it might be, and now that play happened, obviously if you went back, you want to decline that penalty and make him try to run the ball for 2 plays.
We see whistles here as the Bruins were getting ready to run their next play. And the officials will get together to discuss something. But right now, 1:46 left and 2 timeouts still to work with, I believe, for the Highlanders. But so you do have a chance to still get it back, but now you're looking at getting it back with about a minute to go and Hail Mary time if you do get it back.
The game clock will start on the ready for play.
Yeah, because the clock's got to keep running here, too, so they could run it down even.
Yeah, actually, they could run 25 seconds off of it if they wanted to right here. It doesn't look like they're going to. Well, maybe he is. Brevin Work is looking up at the play clock. They had to stop to make sure that he was stopped in bounds, which he was, obviously. There was no doubt about that. They moved the sticks. I don't know if I think the Highlanders are going to lose some time in that situation, though. They give the ball away to Semenko in the backfield, and he is absolutely hog-tied and thrown down by Scott Rohde, and the Highlanders will take a timeout. It's a 5-yard loss for Semenko, and the Highlanders will call for a stoppage with the clock down to 1:15 to go.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate. They got to run that 25 seconds down. I mean, But it's the right call. That they let that offensive line have to sit in that stance for 25 seconds, though. They could have waited and not came up to the line of scrimmage right away.
Post-game report on the way. Stick around. Our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award is on the way. That's selected by Ivy Real Estate Group. They select a Player of the Game after every Highliner and Viking football game, so stay tuned for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award coming up in our post-game report tonight. Tomorrow, Forest City, Iowa, the Vikings and Waldorf University. Pre-game at 12:30, kickoff at 1 o'clock. The Highlanders should be back here next week on Friday night to play their first-round playoff game. Who they will play, a matter of conjecture at this point. And if things hold the way they are right now, I would think that they're probably going to play the number 6 seed, which at this point would be the Wahpeton Huskies. But there's a possibility that things could flip down below us. But right now, I would think 3 seed Valley City, 6 seed Wahpeton here. There's a chance Wahpeton could move to 5, and it could be Fargo North coming here. Second down and 14 for the Bruins from the Highlander 40-yard line. Semenko again, stretch play, got away from 1, could not get away from Will Schwer, or rather Jonah Harstad, and Semenko's down at the 39, and another timeout taken by the Highlanders with 1:09 to go.
Well, that's the Highlanders' final timeout. So, like you said, I mean, they can run the clock, run a play here and run it down 40 seconds, punt it away.
30 seconds is the best you're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to have the ball with 30 seconds deep in our end zone, and I mean, you're going to have to break a few tackles or something to make something happen. But, losing Ethan Miller, that's a big loss now. Hopefully we can get Gavin Gerhardt back coming into the playoffs.
Well, and let's call it like we see it. And I know this is going to sound a little bit like sour grapes for the Fargo South fans that might be watching the Highlander video stream tonight or listening to us or whatever. I think with Gavin Gerhardt out there tonight, the Highlanders are probably 2 scores better than Fargo South. The Highlander defense has been superb without Gavin Gerhardt in the game. And you know what? They've been superb without Ethan Miller in the game as well. The Bruins have had very few opportunities to run the ball or move the ball. But without those 2 men offensively, it's a really, really tough road to hoe for the Highlanders.
Yeah, and it came down to 2 drives, Ryan, in the first half. I mean, both teams moved the ball on 1 drive, and they punched it in, and we got a field goal. Other than that, nobody's moved the ball any which way.
Really the difference tonight. Third down and 12 for the Bruins after the Highlander final timeout. Shotgun snap again for Brevin Work. They run the football with Semenko, and Semenko just spinning forward. He'll get to the Highlander 31. It'll be a gain of about 7 yards for Semenko, and the clock will start to run, and right now the differential is 21 seconds.
And right now, I think on 4th, at the 32-yard line, 4th and 6, you're going to go for it right now.
Because they're going to take a timeout is what the Bruins are going to do. They're going to run this down to about 27 seconds, I would think. Right now, no correction, 21 seconds, the differential. So they'll run this clock down to about 22 seconds to go, call for timeout, and then decide what to do. And really, it's sort of academic at this point as to what they do. Yeah, you're not going to punt it. No. You'll take a knee if nothing else because you're not going to risk the block punt, right?
They're going to run up. They're going to run the football, and if they get the first down, obviously, then they can take. They don't even have to run a play then. But if we stop them, like you said, we're going to get the ball back with 15 seconds, be able to run 1 play, and if we can't break 5-6 tackles, I think it's going to be all she wrote.
Yep. But, so we'll see what Fargo South does. The smart money, as you mentioned, you don't take the punt. Let's just call it what it is, James. The punt is every high school football coach's worst nightmare. There are so many things that can go wrong on a punt that you just don't want to do it. So if I was Fargo South, I would take a knee. I wouldn't even run the ball. You fumble it, it squirts out. This is a grass surface, right? Somebody picks it up and scoops it, new life. They can't do that if you take a knee. I'd just take a knee and turn it over on downs. That's what I would do, I guess.
Yeah, and if I'm Kozel over on Fargo South, coach, I'm gonna try to stretch the field. I'm gonna run a toss, something safe. Maybe even just a handoff.
Is a toss safe?
Well, maybe not. That's why I was changing to the handoff, but not an up-the-gut handoff.
Right.
And I'm going to let him run as far to the sidelines as he can, and if he doesn't look like he's going to get the first down, just run out of bounds.
Kill the time, yep.
Yeah.
So here come the Bruins after their timeout on 4th down and 6. And they're in shotgun at this point, so Brevin Work will take a shotgun snap, men to his right and left, 3 receivers, twins to his right. On 4th down and 6, and we'll see what the Bruins do. He wants to throw. Throw to the far side of the football field for Spivey, and it's incomplete. And of all the things that I would have dialed up, that's not it. 16 seconds left, and the Highlanders will take over on downs.
Now that I think about it, it might be the safe play, because if you throw it and complete it, good for you, score a touchdown or get the first down. If they decide to intercept it, now you have the ball down at the 2-3 yard line.
You get hit when you throw it, and it's picked off at the 35, and it's run back for a touchdown.
And that's where I'm at. I would have never went on a shotgun there either. I'd have been under center, the safer snap, and then maybe took a 3-4 yard step and threw it deep like that. Waste more time with the ball in the air.
Well, James, we could draw that scenario up, bring in 4 experts on how you kill 15 seconds,
and
they would come up with a different answer on all 4 different occasions. It would not be the same thing.
Well, you're going to have 1 play, Ryan.
Maybe 2 with 16 seconds to go. The Highlanders will be under center. Heck will take the snap. Couple of slot backs in the backfield. Heck to throw, threw it away. It's picked off on the right side of the football field. Returned down the far sideline. Man tackled at the 12-yard line. The interception by Abu Trawali. And the Bruins are coming out of here with a victory tonight. They're going to improve to 6-3. The Highlanders are going to drop to 7-2. And let the games with the QRF rating begin. And we see where we end up next week and with who.
Well, Ryan, I think, the way the game was played tonight with a 7-3 score, I don't think Valley City's going to drop past number 3. I think Fargo South will move up to number 2. Grand Forks will move up to number 1. But I think that's all that we would probably be able to set in stone. From 4 on, well, Jamestown's probably going to be 4 no matter what. So from 5 to 8, that could be anybody.
My real question on this after the game comes to an end tonight, when it comes down to QRF, I agree with you. Highlanders slipped to 3. It should be Red River, South, Valley City, Jamestown. My real question is, with the way North slid at the end of the year and the way Wahpeton finished, does Wahpeton move up to 5? And we see a Fargo North team, which I think I would take that matchup because the Bruins are just not finishing the year well. But 2 straight losses for the Highlanders. Then the real question for Valley City, you've got no Gavin Gerhardt. You lost Ethan Miller during the game. We don't know if Gerhardt comes back next week. We know Ethan Miller is not coming back. And so the real challenge for this Highlander coaching staff, James, is going to be to completely rework the offense before you get ready to go on the field in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be big for the Highlanders. Do they or do they not get Gavin Gerhardt back? If they get Gavin Gerhardt back, I don't think you got to rework much. You can kind of stay with what you're at, where you're at. Like you said earlier, I think with Gavin Gerhardt tonight, I think the Highlanders score a few touchdowns. They move the ball a lot better than they did. Put a lot, then the defense for Fargo South's on the field more. But if you don't have Gavin Gerhardt, and you're down Ethan Miller, now you're taking Aiden Jacobson out of the wide receiver spot and you're moving him into a wing back, and now you're bringing in Jamison Muchler to play wide receiver, and you just got a whole new personnel out there and a lot younger, inexperienced personnel.
So we'll take our break and come to our post-game report. Stick around. Our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award is on the way. Some of the final numbers of this one coming up as well. But tonight, here at Hannah Field in the regular season finale, the Fargo South Bruins score a touchdown, and that's enough as they defeat the Valley City Highlanders by a final score of 7-3. Our post-game report and wrap-up is on the way next. This is Highlander Football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Highliner Football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout, CPA, at 845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC.
Ready for some football? Make sure you include quality meats and snacks from Valley Meat Supply. Valley Meat has all your favorites for the grill. Thick, juicy steaks, burger patties, brats, and all beef wieners. Valley Meat has you covered during the hunting and harvest season with sandwich meats and a variety of cheeses, beef sticks, and jerky. If you're tailgating, hunting, or harvesting, make it Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your number one electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in their work, and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online at grotbergelectric.com.
Now, back to Highliner football on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Well, a disappointing night tonight for the Highlanders here at Hannah Field as the Highlanders are beaten tonight by a final score of 7-3. We welcome you to our post-game report tonight. Ryan Cunningham, James Thornton with you tonight from Hannah Field. Highlanders wrap up their regular season 7-2. They're going to take back-to-back losses to Central last week, tonight to Fargo South. Final score 7-3. The win will push the Bruins to 6-3. They're undefeated in this division of football. They're 6-0. Valley City's going to drop to 7-2 on the season. The Highlanders will be displaced from that number 1 ranking in the power formula. Every reason to believe that Fargo South is likely to move up to the 2, if not the 2, the 3. The Highlanders' best hope right now is to hold on to the number 2 spot and see what happens. South didn't play Jamestown this year. Red River doesn't play Fargo South either. But it does look like Red River is going to be the top team. I think we kind of believe South with their win over Valley City. Probably going to move to the 2 spot, and maybe Wahpeton, maybe Fargo North next week here at Hannah Field.
Well, yeah, I don't know how you can't move Fargo South in front of Valley City after beating them 7-3. I don't know how the formulas work, but I don't think Fargo South, with this win tonight, bumps them ahead of Red River. I think Red River stays, and they bump to number 1. I think South bumps to 2, and we come to 3, Jamestown 4, and then it's a crapshoot for
Yeah, and if you're looking at some comparative scores, Fargo South beat North 17-14 earlier this year. Red River beat North 38-6 at North. And so, right now, because I've had the advantage of seeing some teams, halfway through the year up in Grand Forks, and I can kind of tell you folks that, based on what I've seen right now with Valley City's injury problems the way they are, this is Red River's thing to take. They've got a really, really deep team. They've got a lot of balance. They've got a lot of weapons. They can throw the football and run it. And but their defense isn't exactly what Valley City's defense has been, and that might be the great equalizer. But the real question marks for Valley City, Ethan Miller's done for the year. We know that with a broken collarbone. But if Gavin Gerhardt can come back, I think there's plenty of things still in front of this team. If Gavin Gerhardt doesn't come back, it's going to be a really tough situation for the Highlanders next week.
Yeah, Valley City needs Gavin Gerhardt back and needs him on the field. And here's the situation that we just talked about, and I think I'm okay with it. We're going to be the 3 seed, play the 6 seed at home, hopefully get away with that. And, hey, we're going to bounce back and go right back to Fargo South and play the same team we just played tonight. And it could be a blessing in disguise that we didn't have Gavin Gerhardt tonight if that's the case, because they don't know what Gavin Gerhardt can really do then.
There is
a positive to that he did not get to play. They did not get to see him, so they cannot prepare for him like they could. if they would have seen him tonight.
Scoring summary on this one, the Highlanders kick a field goal at 1:22 left of the opening quarter. Bryson Heck from 21 yards makes it 3-0. Then late in the second quarter, the one drive the Bruins had tonight, and I mean it was the one drive the Bruins had this evening. They get down the field in a 10-yard touchdown pass to back up tight end Zach Thomason was good from 10 yards out. As we mentioned, the kick was good for extra point, made it 7-3. The two teams wrestled around one another throughout the second half. Neither team really found any bounce at all. There were a couple of maybe extra first downs for Fargo South. The overall numbers tonight, the Highlanders will actually outgain the Bruins 107-102 in the total offensive category. The Highlanders run it for 114 yards, throw it for 10. Fargo South was balanced, though, and that's the difference. 50 yards on the ground rather, for the Bruins, and 52 yards through the air tonight for Fargo South, including the touchdown pass. The Highlanders, though, beaten by a final score of 7-3. Our final moment of business, if you will, or our final item up for business is our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game. Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City, bringing you our Player of the Game award this evening. And there's no question there was one man that was all over the field tonight for Valley City. He wears number 51. His name was Broden Muskie. Multiple tackles for loss, couple of quarterback sacks, pressures all over the place. Man, Broden Muskie may have played his best game as a Highlander this season tonight. He was incredible.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's got to be player of the game. I mean, he was all over the field defensively, making tackles, pressuring the quarterback, disrupting things. I mean, the kid's a great linebacker. He reads the ball so well. When there was holes that I thought Fargo South was going to have big plays, all of a sudden Brody Muskie was there to close it out and make a tackle. So congrats to Broden.
Yeah, Broden Muskie, the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game award. And so we wait. Now, over the weekend, stay with us on newsdakota.com. And if they do update the rankings, I'll be with you tomorrow from Waldorf University from Forest City, Iowa. If they update the rankings and we get brackets, I'll go ahead and make sure that you have those tomorrow during the Viking football game. And we'll update those on newsdakota.com. But again, you know, James, myself, we're just guessing at this because it's all new the way they do QRF. But I think the Highlanders, and I think, James, you agree, I think they're going to finish number 3. The real question mark for us right now is Wahpeton going to hurdle Fargo North for the number 5 spot? If Wahpeton does, it's North coming here. If Wahpeton doesn't, it's Wahpeton coming here. And when we look ahead to the teams that are scary, I'll tell you what, everybody from 1 down to 8, maybe Dickinson isn't as scary. I think they've sort of, you know, lived on an island out there in the western part of the state. But, you know, you take a look, Fargo South, I don't think they scare me as much as a Jamestown. I don't think they scare me as much as a Red River. And I don't know if South scares me as much as Grand Forks Central, who's going to finish the number 7 spot tonight.
You know, that's what I was just going to say, actually, Ryan. You never know. We might host, and I don't know how that works QRF-wise, but if Central is the 7 and South is the 2, Central could come in and upset Fargo South. Well, they're scary enough that they could.
You know, here's the thing. If this thing finishes the way we think it's going to, then on Friday night, Central plays at South. And I had a chance to see the Highlanders play Central up there. And I'm telling you, folks, I would not bet against Central winning that game in an upset. And, I mean, everything's off at that point, really. I don't see anybody in the top 8 teams besides a Dickinson that can't beat anybody else in those top 8 teams. Really, I think this is about as balanced a playoff field as you can have.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially them top 4. I mean, those top 4, I think, are above everybody, but I think the bottom 4 can upset anybody. But I don't think the bottom 4 can put 3 good games together to win a state championship.
Yeah.
But I think the top 4, any one of them could win a state championship, but any one of them could get beat by the bottom 4 in any single game.
Yeah, if you're looking at it like stocks, I guess you're probably buying Red River. You're probably buying Central. You might be buying Jamestown. You're probably neutral on Valley City because of the injury problems right now. You find out Gerhardt's back, you're probably buying again. Right now with the injury problems, you're probably neutral. I think I'm neutral on Fargo South. I'm probably selling Fargo North a little bit. I'm probably selling Dickinson a little bit. I guess that's kind of how I would wind it up.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the scariest thing is right now is that Grand Forks Central team with their high-powered offense, what they're doing right now offensively. I mean, they scored 49 points tonight against Devils Lake, and I know Devils Lake's not great, but 5 touchdown passes. I mean, when you can throw 5 touchdown passes, I don't care who it's against in high school football.
They do it such an unorthodox way that you don't really know what's coming. But next week, the Highlanders will be here. The playoffs are set for Friday nights. That's one more thing we have to to update James. We're so used to playing in a Saturday afternoon scenario in the playoffs, but the top 2 levels have their playoff games on Friday nights. So it's next Friday night here at Hannah Field, we believe, for the Highlanders and somebody to come in here and play in the opening round of the playoffs. But again, make that transition. We're no longer talking about Saturday afternoons. It's Friday night under the light football for the Highlanders on Friday night. We'll see who we play. Get together and do it again, James.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, James. James Thornton joining us tonight, color commentary and analysis for this one. I'm Ryan Cunningham. Tough one tonight for the Highlanders. They are beaten by a final score of 7-3 by the Fargo South Bruins. We see where we go from here coming up next. But thank you all for joining us. A big thank you to our fine sponsors as well who bring the broadcast to you. We'll be back at it again on Friday night and tomorrow afternoon from Forest City, Iowa. The Vikings, Waldorf, Iowa, 12:30 pregame report right here on KOVC, the voice of the Valley. So join us for it. Tonight's final, South 7, Valley City 3. For KOVC Sports, I'm Ryan Cunningham saying so long, everybody.
You've been listening to Highliner Football on the voice of the Valley, KOVC. This game broadcast has been brought to you by CHI Mercy Health, Dairy Queen, RE/MAX Now of Valley